You guys can come up and give your 2 cents because right now I'm going viral. We're going viral about this Miami nightclub situation, and I want you guys to come up and give your 2 cents if you like. Come join and let's discuss. Come on up, join the panel. Think of it like Clubhouse. That's what I want y'all to think about this like. Think about this like a Clubhouse conversation. Or before I saw the video about the girls being denied at the Miami nightclub, we literally had a live the night I want to say the day before. We had a live the day before about this topic. So the reason why I included it in the video and in the conversation is because we were just talking about this. So I know a lot of people are seeing that video for the first time like, Ash, why would you even say these things? No, you have to understand that we filmed this video already. That video popped up on my FYP and I said, what is the odds? What are the odds that this video, she will post this video a day after? So you don't need camera access for this. You can come up and give your 2 cents if you like. Let's discuss.
I feel like in major cities, I live in Montreal, Canada, and honestly, the dynamic is kind of the same. I go to Miami a lot whenever I need a quick break, and this is something that I have personally experienced.
All right.
And I know it's an unfair advantage because there are people who are not as well dressed or well done as us going into the club, and there might be something that they might say, oh, like we can't let you in because blah blah.
But let me ask you, because you said you live in Canada. Is that Toronto or Montreal? Where do you?
Montreal.
Okay, Montreal. What is the vibe like for nightclub? Like what is it? What is the aesthetic? What do they tell you? What's the dress code like for ladies?
It gives New York nightlife. It
Oh,
gives
New York.
upstate New York nightlife.
Oh, upstate, girl, bye.
Yeah, it's insane. I'm telling you, people are going into the clubs in blazers and crop tops, like they're going for coffee with friends, and it is insane. The
Oh,
vibe in some places, people who are bringing parties to get us closer to a Toronto vibe, a more Caribbean vibe.
right.
Those are the
Okay.
places you have to look for those places, but the older, more popular, common places,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. If you're not skinny and tall and bleach blonde, don't go.
You're not
Just
okay, you're
don't
not
go.
allowed in. So you're saying
Yeah.
specifically for the Caribbean clubs, right? Or maybe like
Caribbean, Afro,
Afro beats. I
Latin
was about to say
clubs.
Afro beats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gonna say, like, when it comes to Miami specifically, like, there is a dress code for most of the clubs. Like, it's either, you're for ladies, you're in a nice looking dress, you're in stilettos, you're in heels, and if even sandals don't even cut it. So I feel like a lot of people like don't try to go by that dress code.
Okay, so do you frequent these nightclubs in Miami, these specific nightclubs with the stricter dress codes?
I've been to a couple, yes, and they're really strict on that. Like they really enforce it. Like if you don't look the part, you're not getting in.
Right, but my thought too is if people are aware of this, why would they show up in flip-flops or sneakers? Why would they even do that?
A lot of people think like just their looks, just like by
Oh.
like the face card that they could just like wear whatever and just walk in.
Ah,
But
okay, okay.
but Miami is the type of place where if you know someone, you could really get into any establishment. Of course.
All right, Nayla, welcome in, her. Welcome in, ladies or gentlemen.
Hi,
I'm not sure.
Ashley.
Hey, so give us your thought on this whole situation. Give us your thoughts.
Well, Ashley, hi. I'm in the UK, so I'm thinking I was shocked when I saw the video because it's like, what? And in America, I feel like most places do like thicker girls anyways. So I don't know what the issue with Miami is.
No, babes. No. Yes, they do in certain parts of the United States. Yes. And it depends where you are in that city, I will say. It depends where you are within that state. Yeah. Not saying thick isn't beautiful or curves are not nice, but it really depends where you are.
Really. But it's
Yeah.
sad though, because I feel like people should allow to be who they're allowed to be. It's just you're never perfect. If you're too skinny, they say something. If you're too big, they say something. Like, what are we supposed to do?
Right. And that's why my question is, should you go where you're celebrated or should you go where you're tolerated? And should we, I guess, should we, right? When you move to a certain state and let's say you want to be a part of the scene, quote unquote, the scene, should you kind of change up who you are to fit in? Or should you just be like, you know what, I'm going to live here, but I'm not going to be a part of this environment. I'm not going to engage with this
Well, actually,
scene.
I'm the type of girl. I don't know if you know what tracksuit bottoms is, but I go to high end places in tracksuits and heels. I don't. And if someone doesn't let me in, I'm like, okay, this place doesn't want me anyways. I'm gonna just bounce. But
Right.
I would go in my, I don't know how to explain it. I'd wear my hood attire with some heels into the Ritz, for example. I don't business. I don't care how, because people are going to see me how they're going to see me either way.
Right,
Do you see what I
right.
mean?
No, absolutely. But out of fairness, right? And I will say this, it doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter your age. I think there's a time and a place for certain outfits. If we're being fair here. Like if we're going to a business meeting, depending what type of business you have, okay, we'll put on a suit, we'll put on a dress. Out of fairness. I think if we're going to certain places, then yeah, there's a quote unquote uniform for those sort of establishments.
I just feel like those girls, they could have been wearing Gucci, Laura Piana. They still would not have been let in. Let's be real.
She said,
Let's be
Laura
real. Like, it's a
Piana.
joke. It's a joke.
Right. Absolutely. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Ruby Rose said, tracksuit, also known as sweatpants, that you should wear at home. I wear whatever I want to wear. I don't let no one dictate what I should be wearing. I've always been like that. And I go to nice places wearing that. You kind of have to be the real you if you want to be happy. I don't
No,
let no one
absolutely.
make me feel
Absolutely.
any. I go to restaurants like that. I don't let no one make me feel any type of way. And it's the truth. It's my truth. So, anyways.
No, right. In dollars and cents, dollars and cents speak. I spoke about that in the more long version of my video. It's like if you don't have looks, maybe you have clout or maybe you have money, that's something else I spoke about. But again, the question is if you move to a certain city and there's a certain aesthetic, there are certain unspoken rules, right? If you
Mm.
want to be a part of that life, if you want to be a part of that scene, should you conform or should you just step away and say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be a part of this. That's the question for everyone coming up today.
Actually, I believe in never conforming and always being yourself. Because you
Okay.
can never be truly happy if you're not yourself.
Fair enough.
Never conform. Don't ever let no one tell you, oh, you need to be, you need to look like this to get in here. If they don't want you, they don't want you. You could be dressed in the nicest clothing. If they don't like your aesthetic, you're not coming in.
Right. This is very true. Someone made a point in the comments and they said, you know what? You can be put together, beautiful, slim, in shape, young, have the perfect face, and they will still tell you no. So that's also a real reality.
I think all women get hate. Even if you're pretty, they hate you then. If you don't look as good, they hate you then. Nothing you can do as a woman is going to get you liked. Let's be real. Like, come on.
Absolutely.
We're
Absolutely.
hated.
Right. I mean, everyone, to someone, everyone's ugly. That's how I see it. Even if you're
Yeah.
perfect. To someone thinks, okay, she's not the flyest, she's not the prettiest, whatever. But I think it really comes down to who you are and your confidence and how much you love you. And again, if those spaces are not for you, just don't go.
Yeah,
What do we think, chat?
actually, I believe clothes don't even have a meaning because sometimes I used to be wearing the cheapest clothes going to the nicest spots and I'd still be let in. It's got nothing to do with the clothes you're wearing. If someone don't like you, they're not letting you in or they're going to give you rude service. Let's be real.
Right,
It's
right,
like,
absolutely.
but like, I feel like we should create our own spaces, anyways. Let's not. If a place don't want you, they don't want you. Just create your own space. Like, come on, we can't keep begging people. It's embarrassing at
Yeah,
this
but
point.
no one's doing it. I'm not saying there aren't black owned, or people of the black diaspora aren't creating spaces, but we have to do it. We can't just say, "Oh, we need change, let's protest." No, someone has to take the action. Not just talk about it, not just plan it, but actually do it, execute, And I think a lot of people, and I hate to say this, like we talk about the issues, but we don't act on them. We're not the change.
No, Ashley, sorry, babe. People are saying in the comments what you wear has some. It actually doesn't. Clothes don't really. It has a little bit of a role to play, but I don't think clothes make a difference. It's the person in the clothes that makes the clothes, not the
The clothes
clothes.
make no, no. I'm gonna say the clothes make the difference, honey. This is a
Yeah,
level
they
up
Not a
do.
page. The
lot,
the
though.
clothes
You got to work on
definitely.
the
The
inner.
clothes, the energy, the look. It's everything. We can't say it's not the clothes.
The
It's the
clothes,
clothes.
if you're not feeling confident, the clothes ain't gonna make a difference. Let's be real, Ashley.
It
Right,
could.
right.
It could. Somebody could put on an outfit and feel much better after putting on that outfit and have
But
more
Absolutely.
necessarily, they're
confidence.
not gonna look better unless they've done the inner work.
Yeah, but when we're talking about Miami, it's not about inner work. I mean, even Ashley has said this on her channel time and time again. When you're in Miami, there's a certain look that's accepted, and that's just what it is. Like it's a cultural thing over there. So you can't expect to go in there and change an entire culture. Like they're doing what they're doing. If you want to participate, there's a certain, it's like going to another country. You do need to adapt a little bit if you want to participate. You don't need to erase your entire being, but there's a level of adaptation that does need to happen for you to, you know, worm your way in, so to speak.
But I don't know. Honestly, I'll be real with you, babe. But I don't believe in adapting to fit in.
I don't believe in it either. Like when I go out, I don't go out the same way they go out. It's a different, when I go out, I like to dance. I'm not going to be in super, super high heels. I'm not going to go to those types of clubs.
But
I'm going to
here's
go
the
to a
thing.
club
We're
with,
saying here's the thing, ladies. Sorry to cut you off. We're saying we're not going to be in super high heels and we're not going to adapt. But everyone's leaving with a little skin tint, some hair done, some lip
of
gloss,
course,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Let's be
of
for real.
course,
We're
of
putting on
course.
perfume. So to some extent, we are buying into it. That's
Of
what I'm
course.
saying ultimately. Yeah.
But for me, it's within the realm of what I like. I'm I'm not gonna have the same type of full face that you're gonna have because that's just not what I do for myself. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Right.
gonna have my little skin tint, my little mascara, but I'm gonna keep it to me. I'm not gonna try to be someone I'm not. That's just what I'm saying.
But I'm gonna have to agree with Ashley here. Even though one could have a specific look that they're comfortable with, every occasion calls for a different type of look, right? If
Right.
you go into a specific occasion, a specific location, they have an aesthetic that they're looking for. That doesn't mean you need to mold yourself into that, but you need to be presentable towards that particular location you're going to. If you're going to a place that they've already said it's ball gown, it's
Yeah,
black tie,
exactly.
you're not gonna go
Yes.
in and say, this is the way I like to look. No, you're
No,
not gonna
no,
get in.
no.
So
Because you decided to go to that place. You decided to participate in that. You know what I mean? Like that was your choice to do that.
exactly. And presentation definitely does matter
It
because you cannot
does.
go
It
out in the
does for
street and
sure.
say, you know what, I can go out
But
with my
wasn't,
bonnet
sorry,
on.
wasn't one of the girls wearing dress and heels? The one, was she in the red dress, if I remember correctly?
I
The
haven't
video
seen
we're
the
talking
video,
about.
so I'm just gonna mute
She
myself.
was, she was,
Ashley?
but the friend was saying that she too got denied because she was too thick. So it wasn't about the clothes, from what I was getting. For the second friend, it was about her body shape. The first girl was her skin tone and her body size. Not so much of what they were wearing, but more about what they were wearing and their body shape, from what I got from the video.
I would say the reality is this: Miami does have an aesthetic, but regardless of your skin tone, yes,
Definitely.
they do have a specific spec that they're looking for. But if you're presentable and you're dressed in a certain manner that they like for the specific place you're going to, you will not have that much resistance. You may have a resistance, but not to that degree. I would say that. So
And we have to also take into consideration we live in a world where we're always talking about body positivity, but the world is still very superficial, as much as a lot of people would like to deny that it's not, but it really is. The world is very superficial, and looks and image matter.
And Coco, I'm happy you're bringing this up because the reason why I'm having this conversation is because I think so many people live their life on their phone and not enough people are going outside. You're not going to those restaurants enough. You're not going to those clubs enough. You're not going to those events enough. So it feels like shocking when you see these things online because you're not getting out the house. That's the issue. A lot of people are not living the experience. They're not going out. They're not even going out alone. We have these conversations all the time. So if you get out more, no matter what city, what country you're in, you are going to be more aware of what's happening in the world.
I feel like, guys, America's food is pretty bad. I mean, the UK's food is pretty bad. There's a lot of fast food. I feel like there's a lot of fast food, so you can't really blame people. If you put fast food everywhere, would you expect people are going to be eating fast food? And then you
I
don't want them in the spots because they've got too big. Like, what is that
But
about?
what we put in our mouths is a choice. What people put in their mouths is a choice. That's a choice they're making. So we can't just be making excuses for people eating
No, but
fast
some
food and
people
stuff like
go
that.
through stuff. Some people go through depression. They might want to
That's
eat more because they're
absolutely true.
depressed. Let's be real.
I gained almost 200 pounds while on birth control. I moved to Miami at about 385 pounds. When I moved to Miami, I saw the lifestyle that people were living, and I didn't want to be the oddball out. So I lost about 185 pounds, had all the surgeries, adapted. So it is a choice. I mean, yes, people go through things. I was depressed. I was miserable. Obesity runs in my family, but it's like, you got to make that choice if that's the life you want to live. If you want to be in those spaces, you have to change.
Yeah.
People aren't just going to accept you just because you exist and you show up.
And sometimes it's not even also about the aesthetic too. Some people don't know how to code switch either. Sometimes in certain rooms you have to be and present yourself a certain way. And I'm saying this as someone that's not even the smallest person, but because I know how to carry myself. And when I come someplace, I'm going to dress a certain type of way. I'm able to have access into certain places.
And secondly to that as well, certain places do want a specific aesthetic. You know, I work in an industry where clients do specifically ask for certain individuals, even though it's professional, they want a specific look. So if you're not that look, if you don't fit that aesthetic or don't fit that bill or your lifestyle is not within that realm, you're not going to be in those circles. Simple as that.
I agree.
Well,
Think
ladies,
about that.
I do partly agree. But then Tix said a valid point as well as Fallon. Now, coming from someone that was 365 pounds, okay, that used to visualize watching stuff on TV, be like, man, I wanted that. And then in my best dress, try to go into a nicer place. And then I felt odd. But then taking Ashley's advice, change myself from the inside out, better internally will flare the external. So then that also goes with the how you dress. Now the girl with the red dress, yes, she wasn't like badly built, but her dress, first of all, was fake leather. You're in Miami and it's super tight. Now every club in Miami has a different aesthetic for their crowds. The place that she was going to was more, I say, have a body, but like have some cuteness class too. It'll be different if it was like, I don't know, closer to the hood or the more friendlier parts of town.
But as BLK women, how many years are we going to continue worrying about what everyone else thinks? It's actually frustrating. It's tiring. Constantly thinking, oh, can I wear this outfit? Oh no, I'm BLK. No, let me put on something more conservative. It's boring. Let us live. Let us be us. Actually, I'm tired.
Yeah, but
I think
I
that's
think,
the
hold on,
beauty in
ladies, hold on. That's why the question is, do you go where you're celebrated or do you go where you're tolerated? You don't have to put up with it, right? No one has to put up with it. You don't have to go to these spaces. You don't have to go to those restaurants or those clubs.
I'll be
I
honest.
absolutely agree,
Every time
Ashley. And if that's where you choose to go to, do some research so you won't be the oddball out, so you won't get the uncomfortable looks, you
Right.
know?
One
Simple.
thing I love about what Ashley's always said is it's okay to want attention from men. It's okay to be in spaces where you want to meet men. And I think it's important to say it's not black women who are creating these standards, it's men who are creating these standards. And back to the point of you just have to choose if you want to be in that space or you don't. I think people can always find a place that they fit in. But it's okay if there are women who want validation or to meet a partner. Maybe you're not at a club, but you're at a different space.
Ashley, sorry, Nigel. Someone in the comments said, "Yes, lol. Now I have bulimia. Whenever I eat, I just throw up all to stay thin. If I don't, I feel guilty." This is unfortunately what this creates. People are going through stuff, and I'm someone who's actually really slim. Talking, it's sad.
Right.
It don't matter
So
if you're
if
slim.
you have bulimia and you're watching this, you need therapy. You don't even need to be
Yeah.
on social media. I'm keeping it real. And if one conversation triggers you that much, you need to delete every single app. That's my advice.
And it's also a false
Delete every
equivalency.
single app. Yeah.
It's a false equivalency because you being slender or thin doesn't necessarily mean that you're the spec, right? So that's something that's also a decision. And of course, some people have psychological and also mental challenges that they're going through, and that's okay as well. But it doesn't lead them to having bulimia or anorexia and stuff like that, right? There are people who are well grown who are also in the spaces. So it's not about being skinny that's going to get you into these rooms. So that's a false equivalency in general.
And I
I
think
mean,
we're not
skinny
also
does help
taking
though.
into
To be fair,
consideration as women,
skinny does help.
but I
But what
also
I'm
think
saying
that we
is,
have to take
people,
into consideration as women, we have the luxury to play around with our style and do so much.
yeah.
We have so much freedom to do stuff, to find ourselves, to find our look, to find our aesthetic. So there's
I
room to
mean,
grow,
people are
there's room to
always
move
gonna have
around.
something to say. If we all just get up every day and dress how we want to dress,
All right. So this is what I'm gonna say. On this page, this is a level up page. I want to be crystal clear about my teachings and what I'm doing over here. I want you to become the best version of yourself. The best possible version of yourself. So that doesn't mean slacking. That doesn't mean, oh, do what you want. How do you want? No. Be the best you. That's not only looks, that's energetically, that's spiritually, that's education. That goes all across the board. Because your life's purpose is yourself. And every day you get up, you should be driven to be the best version of yourself.
It's absolutely okay if you don't want to apply those things to your life, if you don't want to conform to different standards, but it's also okay if other people do. Both,
but
there's nothing wrong with either way.
Nigel, I've never conformed, and from doing what I do, I've made quite from 18. I've done. I'm not going to really say what I've done, but from 18, I've been doing something certain like over and over again, and I've made probably close to 7 figures from it. So what I'm saying is, people that make a lot of money in life, they never conform. They stay themselves.
Oh,
And those girls, no matter, even if they put on the nicest designer clothes on the planet, they would not have let those girls in. Let's be real.
I agree and I disagree with that because you do have to position yourself and you do need to be aware of your surroundings. So saying that they don't have to change themselves, partially, but you do have to fit the bill and also dress for the occasion, prepare for the occasion, and be present, right?
yeah. And let's go to billionaires. We're not gonna talk about millionaires. Let's go to billionaires. Let's think about the Kim Kardashians of the world. We're just gonna go straight to her, right? She's doing whatever it takes
I'm
to
serious.
keep
What
her
has she?
money and to keep getting more money. Rihanna got on the internet and said in one of her interviews, when Rocky comes home, I want to make sure I'm pretty for him. Did everyone see that interview? When she's a billionaire, she said, when my man comes home with billions of dollars, I want to make sure I'm pretty for him.
Then your why as to why you want to level up, it will definitely be different. Everyone's reasoning will be different. Like, for example, someone might level up because, yes, they do want better access to better men. There are others who they just want to live that luxurious lifestyle for themselves. Like, okay, once upon a time,
I was watching everyone else go on trips and luxurious trips, taking solo trips. But I myself now, I want to level up to a point where, okay, I have 3 days off of work. Okay, let me go to Cancun. Let me go to this place. This is my reason of level up. Okay, well, my level up reason is because I don't feel comfortable with where I am in my weight. I feel uncomfortable. I can't breathe. So health wise, I have to level up. Or, okay, I know that my environment doesn't look the same. I want to live in a high rise, so I have to level up. So once you understand your personal why, yeah, it's going to look different. It's not, okay, everybody want to level up because everybody want a better man and look good and be able to go to the
Right.
clubs. And no, everyone's reasoning is going to be completely different. So once you know for yourself as that woman to your core, this is my reason, everything else is going to fall into place because you know it is you and you alone. That's it. Not because of what the next girl wants or what the other girl wants. No, it's about you as for yourself.
Absolutely. And I think every day I don't have to get up and work out, right? Like I'm sure people think here, I have the money, I have the bags, I have the shoe, I have the guy, I have the lifestyle. Do I have to get up and do anything? Technically, no. But it's not about everyone else. It's about you. It always comes down to you. My motivation to get up in the morning is me. That's how everyone should be thinking about it. I want to be the best version for me. Whether I have the money, I have the man, I have the car, I have the lifestyle. I should still want to be better for me. Simple.
And actually, I feel like a lot of women are with men that stress them out, and that's why they gain the weight anyways. Unfortunately, I'm not being rude, but men can make you gain weight or they can make you lose weight too. So just decenter men. It's not like, oh, I'm going to get fit and I'm going to start looking good so I can get more men. Just do it for you.
But I think that's part of the knowing your why and the leveling up of like, okay, in the area that you know in your relationship, you're dealing with someone who is, you know, is affecting you physically, mentally, spiritually, and everything in between. Once you become aware of that, then your level up is saying, okay, let me seek therapy, or let me go to the gym, let me do these things so that I'm no longer taking or accepting something from someone that is not serving me or is bringing me down or putting me in a space where I'm not myself. So that's all part of the leveling up. And it's not just, okay, just do it. Well, just do it. What does that look like? Who are the people that we could look towards for the example to get the ball rolling? And Ashley has done a wonderful job of not just being a sayer, but she's a doer as well, where she's showing you, hey, I'm on the treadmill, look at me right here, or hey, I'm going on a trip. So we see these things in action. Who are the other people that we could say, okay, this person not only look like me, but they're actually showing us behind the scene of how it looks like to have gone from 200 pounds to 180. Like these are the steps. But if we just say, just do it, well, how does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need these steps. We need to get the ball rolling so that, you know what, I may not do it how Ashley did it, but I have a general sense of how to get up every single day, go to the gym. I may not know how to do certain things, but hey, I've seen Clark done it. I've seen Kim done it. I've
Right.
seen Nikki done it. So it's about getting the ball rolling rather than us talking in circles like, yeah, do this, do that. But babes, how? No one is doing the how. That's the part where we also need to get to. It's the how and knowing our why.
And
I
even
also
going back to like the club, people are saying, why don't we create our own spaces? Just to, piggyback off your point. Why don't we create it? It's the how. Why don't we do it? Why don't we execute? Let's not just talk about it all day. Let's create the club. Let's create the spaces. You have to do the work. It's that simple. We have to be the change. We can't just talk about it. We have to do it.
Yeah, actually, I agree, but Lizzo wouldn't have gotten refused. JT wouldn't have gotten refused. I just feel like if you get yourself to a certain level, you can walk around like Adam Sandler, whatever weird clothes and jumpers he wears. Just like, I don't know, man. I don't
but
know.
But
Ashley
that's
did
not
say that
realistic
though,
for
that
everyone.
sometimes clout can be the reason
Yes,
to get put in
Coco.
certain
Yes,
rooms.
I
Yeah.
did. I did. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I also wonder, and I don't know your story, her, but if you had lived in a different body that wasn't societally accepted, if you'd still have the same point of view. Like I went through a phase, and I don't want to take much time, but I went through a phase in my life where men didn't respect me as a whole because of the way my body looked and because of the way I was showing up in society. And it's not that I lost weight and changed my body for men. I felt unhealthy. I was struggling to walk upstairs. Couldn't pursue the career I wanted to do. There were a lot more factors than just men. But when we're considering this conversation and nightlife and men creating these standards,
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder if you had that experience, if you would
Tiffany said,
be saying,
I'd be dressing like Adam and still get approached. This is what I mean. It's a confidence and an aura thing. And actually, I've been
"Hmm,
slim for majority of my life. I'll say almost all my life. There was like a year period where I was eating too much and I got to a size UK 10, I'd say. But for the most part, I've been slim. But we know how BLK people are. When you're slim, then they have an issue with, oh, why are you slim? Like, go and eat some. You look like you got no meat on you. You know what I mean? So I feel like as women, when people will always have something to say, it doesn't matter, Niger, if you're on the other spectrum or the other spectrum. As BLK people, I feel like they always talk about our weight. Like, why? You know? Why? Like I've been told like most of my life, like by some people, like, oh, but it happens to be BLK people. Oh, why are you so slim? Do you not eat? Why are you so slim? Maybe I just don't eat as much, or maybe I'll go for walks. I'm keeping myself healthy. This is how I keep myself healthy. But
That
people will
also
always
speaks
say
to your
something.
environment. I'm gonna also say that because if you're around nothing but slim people, that's not a conversation. Just like if you're around nothing but thick people, that's not a conversation.
Yeah.
So that means the environment you're in, you need to change the environment completely.
Most of my aunties, actually, they were like big, but I feel like as BLK people, the aunties that you looked up to, they were always big, weren't they? If you remember, if you go back, they were always on the thicker side. They weren't usually slim. So like you grow up around them and then they're like, oh, what, you've got to this age now, how are you still so slim? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, do you not eat? It's like it's constant stress. It really is. It's like it don't matter what side of the spectrum, people are always gonna say something. So I feel like we just have to make ourselves happy.
Is it
I get
just
it, but I feel
me,
like
or does conforming to a certain degree link directly to how much social mobility you want to have where you're at? You know what I mean? If you want to go to a certain height or you want to live a certain life, you're more likely to adapt to the place that you're in, right? Because when you
true.
see everyone looks this way and they're getting things done, or they're doing certain things and they're getting things done, you might say, okay, maybe I have to adjust this. Like, I'm not saying change your whole personality or your character or let them change your morals, but maybe you're gonna have to go a little bit less on the neon green hair.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything, and I was gonna say everything requires sacrifice, right? So if you want to social climb, if you want to be a better version of yourself, you have to sacrifice something. You have to sacrifice a part of yourself to get to that next level. That's how I see it. Everything comes with you giving up a part of yourself to be another version of you.
Yeah, and actually, I really like the way you do your lives, because when the women come on, you tell them in a nice way to lose the weight. You don't say it in a bad way. And maybe because I've got it on the other end from people saying horrible stuff about my weight, I can emphasize with people that are on the other end of the spectrum, because it's either way, it's horrible, you know?
Absolutely. Again, I want to say this to all the ladies here, love who you are. I agree, her, you did say at some point it's about your energy. I do believe that, right? But I also want you guys to remember you can either accept it or not. You get to decide the rules for your life. You get to decide that. Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up in the world? But my ultimate message is I want you to be the best version of yourself. That's it. Whatever that looks like for you.
Actually, I have just one more thing because I was getting my son together. I couldn't really pop in. So, her keeps saying about be okay people or BLKM standards or whatever, any BLK woman that is unhealthy, whether it's 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, etc. If a man of higher value said, "You're beautiful, but I want you to be healthy, and I'll give you anything you want. All I require for you is to be healthy," aka Ashley, being the best version of yourself. Any woman, black, white, Mexican, purple, green, blue, or brown, is going to be the most healthiest they can to get what they want because it's the opportunity they have.
For a man?
From a man, from a job, it doesn't matter.
No. You do it for yourself. That's what Ashley talks about. Losing the
But
weight
if
for
that's something
yourself.
that they want, then it is for themselves.
Thank you. It's the results of getting the opportunity that they wanted, not necessarily where it comes from.
I disagree. For a man, no. You do it for yourself.
See, you're blinded on to what only you want to talk about, what fits your
But I'm
narrative.
not.
Because I just
I'm not,
said,
princess. I'm not.
I
I feel
just
like a lot of
said,
women gain a
oh,
lot of
okay,
weight.
I just said it doesn't matter where it comes from. It's the result of that person getting the end results what they always wanted. And if the only thing they had to do was get healthy and boom, it's mine.
Not
Any
for a man, though. Never for a man.
See, you're like
Sorry.
I said, okay, so I don't talk to ignorant people. So, anyways,
But I'm
Ashley,
not ignorant, though.
the rest of the ladies.
I'm not ignorant, but I wouldn't personally do anything for a man, and I don't advise women to do things for men. We don't live for men, we live for ourselves to make ourselves happy, our inner selves happy. Why is everything
Use
man,
men
man,
to
man,
continue to
man?
make ourselves happy, sweetheart. So if women are interested in men, there's nothing wrong with them wanting to do and make changes so that way they can attract
Exactly.
certain type
Someone
of
said, "What's
men.
ignorant about that?" For a man, it's like, what do you mean for a man? I do. I keep my waist
Because
tiny for
we're
me,
human,
not
honey.
for a
Like I
man.
feel like a lot of people get on this app and try to talk that decenter men stuff, but we're all
No, but
human.
I'm
Everybody
not even
craves
saying
companionship.
decenter man.
So a lot of women are still
What?
wanting
No,
and
but that's
attracted
not
to
true.
men.
What I said, Ashley, you heard exactly what I said. I said for a man.
I said, that's what I first generally said. But then I said, okay, from any aspect, whether it be a job opportunity, whether it be, I don't know, a better position to put your family in, from any opportunity. And the person that's giving it, as requirements are for them to only just to be healthy. Whatever
But
that looks
a
like,
man, a
mentally,
high
physically,
value
it
man,
doesn't matter.
a high value man doesn't come to a larger woman and tell her, "Oh, I really like you, but lose the weight." They don't do that. They just go for what's already available, that's already slim. Let's be real. We can't always talk about men, 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 men. Like, why can't we do things for ourselves? I'm not being rude. I go out on the street and I see women walking next to man. The woman looks absolutely terrible and the man looks like he's glowing and he's fully energized because he's an energy vampire. I'm so sorry, but I don't do things for men. Yeah, she keeps talking man, 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 like, and calling me ignorant. I don't live for man. I keep my waist tiny for me, not for men.
You're weird. But anyways,
I'm not weird.
you definitely are.
You're
But
weird.
moving on. Okay. So
And it's
Ashley,
quite funny how people in the comments are
Ashley, like
agreeing
I
with
was
me and
saying
not you.
earlier, when I took your advice, I was the girl that just automatically thought because I was cute, I was going to get what I wanted from anybody, and that's not the case. You had said, okay, let's do 30. Can we do 30 at first? And I'm like, no, I want to do the whole 80. So I was supposed to come back in January, but I was procrastinating, kept making excuses. But then when I stopped the excuses, took your advice, changed my look, upgraded my look to fit my frame, and also got dedicated. Thank you, baby. And got dedicated
Well, that
and
baby crying
start
is
working.
what got you
Anyways, I'm
into that
talking. I'm
situation
talking.
to
It's my
begin
turn.
with.
Listen, I'm talking.
You were
Thank you.
male-centered.
I'm talking. I'm talking. Good job. Anyways, so
Go
then
and
Okay,
eat
I.
until you're
let's
crying,
keep it
baby.
respectful, ladies. Let's keep it
Ashley,
respectful.
she started first. You could see, so.
Anyways, so
Let's
and
one
then
at
I
a
lost the
time,
weight.
please. One at a time. Come on,
Thank you,
ladies. Come
Ashley.
on, ladies. One at a time. We can all share our thoughts without arguing. Let's keep it classy.
Ouch.
I
Jesus
would like to
Christ.
add as well.
Okay.
It's for
And
Joy.
so that I had lost altogether, well, I want to say 50, 54 pounds, and now I'm 207. Now when I walk out for the last, 2, 3 weeks, what I was saying I deserved and I knew I was worth, I'm getting that from just randoms. So you can't say women that change themselves to get something, let's say for a man, they shouldn't change for a man. And if they do, they should do it for themselves. I wanted the results. And
You're welcome, doll. All right, her.
And I keep my waist tiny for me. Like I said, not for a man. Why is that such an issue for you? Why do you get triggered?
love, I'm not triggered. You are.
You are triggered.
Are you sure?
You are triggered. I keep my waist tiny for me and my health, not for a man.
That's wonderful. I'm happy for you.
Well, can I just
So
jump in
go
and
and
say
cater to
real
your
quick?
crying
Because I
baby.
noticed at the beginning of y'all conversation, y'all were emphasizing on black women. And I just want to make it a point that throughout black women's history, we have been programmed and designed to be these workhorses for our community. So I don't think that there's anything wrong for whatever rhyme or reason that a black woman wants to level up, make herself better, do better, whether it's for a man, a job, a money opportunity, whatever. Put yourself first for whatever reason you're going to do it. Because at the end of the day, our community has made us these workhorses, and black women are just simply not putting themselves first enough, in my opinion. So I just want to throw that out there. That's all I got to say.
And also, I want to say this too, because Coco, you did say, you said Ash, and I don't, you weren't speaking to me specifically, but you said a lot of women say they are decentering men, but some women actually want a man. And I say this often, like, yes, some people do want to go out into the world and they do want to impress a man. And then there's a group of women who don't want to do that. I think both is okay. That's how I see it. Both sides are okay. If you want a man, if you don't want to do it for a man, I think that's totally fine.
And actually, I actually really appreciate your response. I think it's very fair, but I just feel like the women that scream men, 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 men. If men were really approaching you like that, princess, you wouldn't be like man, 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 man. I get approached all the time. Men like me. I don't need to be screaming man, 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 man. I'm tired of them. It's 2025. Actually, let's be real. It's boring. Next.
Oh, babe, you want to see the screenshot? Do you want to see my
Actually,
DMs?
next. It's 2025.
It's they're
I'm
here.
tired.
But now since I'm better, I have better options.
But the options are not going to be any better. Let's be real. The options, men are men. They don't change.
The level of them change, and I'm at the best level.
Yeah, that's
But
all.
there are girls that are 400 pounds that get men tricking on them. I don't believe in all of that.
I'm
Honestly.
calling ref for the girls between her and Princess because I see both sides right here. Because what her is saying is valid. Because what if a woman does it for a man, but she doesn't get the man or even the man that she wanted? And also, even if she does it for a man, what happens if that doesn't work out? You know what I mean? But on
There are women that
Princesses,
are
you
400
can
pounds
still
get
use
men
the
tricking on
man.
them.
Everyone, and I want to piggyback because Ashley actually took the words out of my mouth. No tea, no shade. I can't relate to a lot of women who struggle when it comes to appearance or anything like that. I never have been in that scenario. But what I do know is that men perceive women who they can see us, right? So we're not just these people that show up. They can tell if you're confident, they can tell if you lack confidence, and they base how they're going to treat you and approach you based on that. And as far as size, there's women who are on the heavier set that carry it very well. And men love them. There's men who would never look at me because they perceive me as whatever that is, and I'll go over here where it's safer. They don't have to worry as much as if I leave out the house, all the men is, yeah, that's the truth. But that don't mean I'm impressed. I don't care about men in my face. I guess because it's something that I never had to worry about, similar to what her was saying. But those are the intangibles, right? But what for me separates me from a lot of women, because I'm a hairstylist. talked to so many women, is I actually know who I am, and I am who I think I am. And this didn't
Come
start
on.
off as an adult. This was when my name is Quincy. So in order for me to be great, clearly I've gotten teased as a child for my facial features, for my name. You really can't can't get to adulthood without whooping some asses as a kid, and that means intellectually, right? And so once you really hone in who you are and who you choose to be every day you wake up versus how you're perceived by the opposite sex, the life changes for you, right? You have to be so, when I tell you, all about who you are, not your identity. Me personally, I'm a mother of 5 children. No, it don't look like I have kids. Kudos to God. But that doesn't mean I'm not a mother of those kids, right? I'm a woman who's always made her own money, but thou will not come into this space of mine unless you have to spend that money on me. I don't lift a finger or a dollar, right? That's me. Do I project myself as a self-made woman? No, I'm a God-made woman. So when a man sees me, he says ultra femininity, yet he sees a presence that he knows. I've had men go behind my back and say, I could tell I can't play with her. But that's because I curated a healthy relationship with my creator and myself before I go out into the world and introduce myself, right? Because your presence introduces yourself before your mouth does. Your energy introduces what it greets the room, right? And so it does not matter if you are 120 or 250 or 4, whatever those numbers are, if you are unhappy with self, because slimmer women deal with things too. They're always talking about that. Someone's always worried about them putting on weight. You need to eat. They don't think we don't get it, right? And so at the end of the day, both sides of the fence deal with what they deal with. But if you shut down the noise and hone in who you are, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the baddest motherfucker of all? Me,
Hey.
right? And so at the end of the day, can't nobody knock you if you rock with you. They have no choice. You teach people how to approach you. You have to have a queen mentality that people have to approach the queen a certain way to get access to you. Then all of that stuff you keep feeding yourself lies. And let me tell you something. You're gonna lose that weight for a man or gain the weight for a man, and it ain't gonna stick
Hold
because you
on,
did it for
Quincy, you
somebody
are
else.
giving it. You are taking it on your page, honey.
Thank you, honey. Thank
Taking
you, Miss Ash.
it. Body, face, hair, you are gorge.
Thank you,
Yeah,
honey.
she's pretty.
So are
Yes,
you, Ashley.
gorge.
I'll be referring people to you because if I'm like, listen, go to her, go look at her stuff because I can't deal with you. You are the girl too, honey. So like
Thank you,
I
darling.
always
Yes, you
tell,
are serving the looks. Serving.
thank you. I always tell women, us as black women, they always trying us, right? Whether it be whatever we decide to do, whatever you do, do it well. I promise you. I've dealt with more things than I've cared to admit, from my mother to everybody else. I can't listen to that. I know that God woke me up. He gave me a new opportunity. Now, however long, if I get to see the evening, I'm grateful for that. But I utilize what he gave me. He didn't create women to us black women to be here and then downplay ourselves for a man. He didn't. He created us in regal energy. That's why when you see African women, they have this stellar presence. If you ever get a chance to travel, it'll change your narrative and how you perceive yourself. Because these are low vibrational behaviors of doing things for a man that's not even sticking.
Can I just say a little point? I do think some
There is
BLT women keep the
women
weight on for a man.
Why do you
because that man told them he likes them
why not just
thicker.
say black women?
Because I'd rather not
Because
say that on Ashley's live.
I
TikTok is a
think
bit
that,
funny.
but what I'm saying is this, right? See, me, I don't get into the meat and potatoes of the whys, who's, is who's, right? Do as you will. Now, if you're, what you call it, you're not getting to the goal that you're trying, you got to switch some things up. A fool is the one who does things over and over and over, expecting the same result, right? So if you are a woman, there are a lot of women that are like this that live to serve men. There's nothing wrong with that. I'd rather y'all go do it so I don't have to, so the man can serve me, right? So that's an elimination process I have mentally. Like, please take that man away, right? But I don't judge them because they that match with the man who has the king mentality with the lion tattoo from 1998, right?
Quincy, can I interject real quick? I don't
Yes.
think anyone should revolve their life around a man, period. Like, I think we all need to live to serve ourselves.
But you got to understand that you feel that way. There is a plethora of women who will look at you and say, "What?" See me, I'm 43 years old. I've been here a good while to understand women and how there's this desire to be wanted. And it stems from a lot of different spaces and places. You have a lot of fatherless daughters. You have a lot of girls who didn't get attention and then they bloomed. You have a lot of girls that were sexualized as children or even touched as children that their whole purpose, they were led to believe this is all they're available for. See, I don't attack women for because there's something behind it, right? How'd you get to this land in space? You see what I'm saying? The airplane landed here via X, Y's, and Z's. Now,
And let me also ask this to you, Quincy, instead of ladies, because initially we came on a live about the whole Miami incident. So I kind of want us to speak to that a little bit, if you can, Quincy,
can you reiterate?
Jim,
I didn't
Princess,
hear.
Karen. Yes. The Miami incident where the girls were denied, and we were speaking about how in certain cities, certain aesthetics are accepted and certain aesthetics aren't. So if
So
you
I live
ladies
in
can
LA, so
also
I can
speak to
speak
that.
very
Yes.
much to this. I live in a place where, baby, if your amount of blackness better be now is damn near non-existent, right? So when I was I didn't start going out till like 27 years old. For obviously, I was a parent young. And so when I would start going out, I think brown skinned women are those are God's gift. Okay. That melanin I live, right? And so I always had brown skinned friends because I didn't understand what was wrong with them. Now, I had a friend, she probably would be in the lines of Bernice, right? Very gorgeous. She was Fijian and black. But because she had melanin, they said, you could come in, but she can't. I said, well, we won't go anywhere, right? And she was bad. Now she was over there in Miami. They would have let her in because she looked Dominican. But when it comes to certain things, you gotta know we live in a space in a world of aesthetic, and men are in there buying tables and just give you the scene. They're spending money. They want what they deem is attractive. If you know that's not your vibe, for those men, you buy your own table, you do your own thing. If you really want to go in there, this is something that we can get. I live in a place. I went to Miami. Everybody thought I was Spanish, and they were eager to do everything. I was like, yeah, I got to get out of here. I deal with this goofy behavior back at home. You know what I mean?
Quincy, can I just say something? Did you see the Miami video with the girls?
I didn't see, but I'm just saying to that. I live in a space that happens more often than not.
So with the girls, I believe it was three girls and two. They were all on the heavier side, right? And
Okay.
Yeah.
two of them were darker skin, and basically they weren't the bouncer at the door didn't allow them to even enter the club because the girls were too dark and too big, quote unquote.
Yeah,
So
that happens here.
that was the situation. I live in New York, like I'm a New Yorker, but I'm Jamaican and I've been here for a while. So I'm in my 20s, and I will say in certain places in New York City, like you're not getting in if you're too dark and if you're too big, like that is a thing. So it's like I've never personally experienced that in my life since I've been in my 20s, but I have heard of people not getting into certain spots because of how they look. But I haven't experienced that. Like I've experienced that in dating. Like I've had dating situations where I've been either too dark or too big or too something for somebody, but I haven't experienced that entering like a club or anything like that.
Oh, because I thought in New York it was more so like, because I know people there, they be looking crazy, like they just walk out of bed and they still get in. But I guess it's all about who you know too. Just like here, it's all about who you know. But I feel like that's still, when it comes to that scene, like clubbing and going out, nightlife, they definitely be on that type of time and where they worried about how you look. You know what I mean? Then you go in and be like, ain't nobody even in here for all of that. Well, that's my perception.
Heard.
Absolutely. Does anyone else want to give their thoughts on this topic about the nightlife? Hello, welcome in.
I just want to say, here in Philadelphia, that's common too. Like in the center city area, like, for example, I'll give you an example. Down here, we got a steak 48, and the dress code had gotten so out of hand at steak 48. They started saying like pretty much you needed to like pretty much if you wasn't spending $200 or more, and if you wasn't dressed the part, you couldn't come in. But it was specifically because of what people was wearing there. So
What were
that
they wearing? What were they wearing?
they was wearing all like, jeans, like just not up to par, pretty much. Like the dress code was strictly, dress code attire. They were coming any kind of way, jeans, sneakers. So they cut that out with and that, oh, you have to spend $200 or more. So a lot of people stopped going. Also, we have a place here called Delilah's, and Delilah's is the same way. Like if you're, well, not so much as if you're dark, but if you are not thin, skinny, you cannot get in. They will tell you at the door that's not the look that they're looking for. Now, the shades you could get away with, but the weight is big there. So that I think every city has like something where like they want a certain look for certain places. You
Yeah,
get what I'm
I
saying?
don't know. I don't know about America actually, because I'm not in America, but I feel like they're not gonna refuse Bernice from getting into the club. So I don't know. It's how you look, I think.
And then
No,
too,
no, no, no,
here's
not
the
her per
thing. Like
se.
when you think of Miami or you think of Cali, you already you think of like beautiful women. I mean, TV will show you what kind of aesthetic, is there. So, I mean, going to Miami and going to, getting rejected, I wouldn't be, I mean, it's disappointed, but I wouldn't be like shocked,
I think
basically.
I think the
Well,
hesitation is where the why the women are being rejected, because it's like if it's how you look, like how you're dressing, dress codes are, there's dress codes for different places, but it was based on skin color and size. Like people can't easily change their skin color, and then weight is also such a touchy subject for like women, and a lot of women are working on their weight, or they're in the process, or they have hormone conditions, or it's
Yeah,
one thing.
true.
It's one thing or the next. So I don't believe it was like ab- obnoxious. Like they didn't look like they were like 500, 600 pounds, but it, at a certain
But I
point,
also think we have to
crosses the
factor
line into
into
being a
certain places, like you guys are saying, Miami and LA. Those places have beaches, so it's going to be common for people to constantly want to be in shape because they're going to want to go to the beach. They're going to want to wear their best bikinis, have their bodies out. It's warmer in these areas, whereas New
Well,
York and stuff like that, and Philly, granted, it's colder up these places, so you might be able to slide on the weight issues, but you better put that stuff on when you come out.
Facts. And your hair better be done nicely,
yeah,
especially
your
in
hair
Philly.
better be done. You better put that stuff on, and you just gotta look like something. Like we got another restaurant here. It's called it's on the like 60th floor. Like if you don't have a certain aesthetic, they won't even let you in there. So I guess basically what we're saying is you have to look the par for these places.
why does the aesthetic have to be
To look,
light skin and skinny though? Like I don't feel like that's
Yeah,
the only
exactly.
aesthetic that
I think you
that
only
goes
have to
with
look the
it.
part if you understand
But then
the
looking the
lecture.
part shouldn't be based on skin
I
tone.
think
It
what
should
it
be
is that
Exactly.
like
Not
like
on skin
these
tone, definitely
places,
not.
these
Or weight.
these places like where I guess high end people would go, and the companies know that high end people are there. I guess they just want a certain demographic of people there. I mean, that's all I can think of.
I
Like
agree with that.
I guess they know billionaires come there, millionaires come there, and they know the typical woman that a millionaire or a billionaire wouldn't go for would be over 150 pounds or 140 pounds. I don't know. I mean, that's still a
Well, no,
I think
140
it's
is
also
high.
rooted in the fact that you have to think and
that's
take in consideration that if you're a millionaire or billionaire and you have put this much effort into your financial wealth, why wouldn't you put that much effort into your health as well? So when you see somebody that's overweight, and I'm speaking to you guys, I'm not the smallest person in the world, I promise you that. But if you see someone who's overweight, your first mind's gonna go, well, dang, you don't care about your looks, you don't care about your internal health. So that's what the
but
correlation is to weight.
I
So I don't
agree.
want to always be dismissive of weight. I'm constantly working on mine, but we do have to let that be known that to some people it's known as a like you don't care about
When
yourself.
I think
I
people are
agree with
so ins
that.
and out about the weight topic. Weight is a big deal. It is. As much
It
as we don't
is.
want to talk about it, it's a big deal.
I
How
think
much you weigh
in the
matters.
black community, being
I
bigger is glamorized. That's the issue here. Some women
no.
keep the weight on
Right. Like for example,
male
even
black
when you
man
put on,
gaze. Let's be real.
but
In
even
the
when you put
YT
on certain
culture,
clothes, if
in the
you don't look
YT
nice and
culture, it's better for them to be slim. That's what they push all their women. Or being slim is the best. That's why the pretty slim ones they get bagged up. They get chosen first. Being
This is
slim
true.
and pretty,
well,
but in
yeah.
our culture, it's completely different. It's like the bigger you are, the better you are. The male gaze, a Jamaican man will be like, "Oh, yo," he'll say something really lovely, even if the woman is the size of a
Okay,
sofa.
pause.
I mean, it's
Her, I'm
crazy.
actually Jamaican. Jamaican men just want to F you. That's it.
But this is
My
what I'm
They
saying.
know.
Jamaican
They know.
fetishize
No,
over
but let's
skin
not. No,
color.
no. We're getting a bit carried
One at a
away.
time, ladies. One at a time. Yeah.
It's not even about how you look. A lot of these men, they just want to sleep with you. Let's be
No,
honest.
don't
But
put Jamaican
in
men
our
into it.
black
It's not
community,
true.
curves, yeah, curves.
True. Nine
We
times
all
out of
know
10.
black men
I'll stop.
prefer curves. So I feel like some black women sometimes might choose to stay a little bit curvy or on the bigger side because they know that keeps the black male gaze. If we
This
had
is
the
true.
same culture, this is why I like what Ashley preaches. She's like, lose the weight, but she says it in a nice way.
But
The
there's a
YT
difference.
culture, the slim ones
There's a
with the
difference
pretty
between curve
faces
and fatness.
get chosen
There's a
first.
line. Because
There's a
black women
difference between
naturally, we're
curvy and
naturally
fat.
curvy.
So
We're naturally, like, even in my best shape, I have curves. So there's a difference between curvy, fat, something in between. Like, we all should just be our optimal shape. Period. Point blank, period.
Going, but
Right.
we
I
also
do.
have
I
to
will say
understand
this.
that
Hold
some
on,
of us,
ladies. I will say it is a very touchy topic, and I've been doing lives for a while, especially when it comes to African American women or women of the Black diaspora. It's a
yeah.
very touchy topic around weight. Whenever I mention weight, it can
And
get
I don't know
very, very
why.
touchy.
I just don't
Yeah.
understand it. Like we as people, we know if we're overweight. We know when we look good in something. We know when we don't look good in something. But I will say weight does play a big factor. I mean, what you put on and what you look like in it matters.
I know,
That's just
but we just need to be honest and be like, let's be real here. The black women, some of us have an issue where we like to keep the weight on for the black male gaze.
But
I'll be real.
honestly, I feel like we also need
no
to take
one
into
wants to keep it.
consideration the fact that the reason why black people or black women of the black diaspora are sensitive to weight is because we are the most overweight women in the world. It's been
Yeah.
normalized in our community. And I feel like that's why people get so sensitive about the topic because they don't want to be held accountable for the choices in their actions. It's harder to have all these excuses and point the finger, this, that, and the third. But when you got to look in that mirror and hold yourself accountable for the fact that you are the reason you're overweight. No, we can't help the fact that we're black, but you can help what you're eating. And I
True. I
promise you
agree
guys,
with that
I'm not
one.
no small woman. I'm saying this to you guys as a thicker girl. Like, I promise you. And I work on mine all the time. But we have to be honest with ourselves. It's so easy to make excuses, but that's the reason why everybody's super sensitive. Because when it's all said
Someone
and
said
done,
you don't
black
have to
women are
be.
the most big overweight women in the world.
Sorry, Coco. Someone in the comments said you don't have to be big to keep the black male gaze. I'm sorry, but for some black women, they kind of have to, which is why they stay big.
So I say this, right? So me,
Just
I
like YT women keep themselves slim for the white male gaze. It's polar opposite.
yes. So for me, I like my energy to be on a billion no matter what's going on in life, right? I like to wake up and go. So I've been doing Pilates since 2011. I know who talks shit about me going to Pilates was black women. When I go work out and I do my thing, okay, they be like, "Oh, I don't want to look like a man, sweetie." Working out does not mean you're gonna look like a man. A little bit of muscle definition is very much that girl. When you do anything that is on the health level, I get NAD, IVs, infrared. I do my hyperbaric chamber. They be like, that's expensive. Your health is on a line here if you don't take care of it. What you don't take care of, what happens? You lose, right? And so when women are hypersensitive towards being heavy, my mother's whole family are big girls, and they, if they ever think they're gonna come for me, I'll laugh at them, because who said you were the ones I wanted to look like, right? And so they were like, why are you so skinny? Girl, I'm not so skinny. I'm 140, sometimes 145, a majority muscle. I'm grateful for my DNA. But at the same time, what happens is the black women always chewing up the slimmer women when they should be hopping on the bandwagon of health as well, right?
You know what it is, Quincy? It takes energy to be healthy than it takes to be fat. It's easier to be fat. It's hard to be healthy.
I bet you it is easy.
So a lot of people just choose the easy way out, and a lot of
It's
the
easy until you get on them people's hospital tables and look at a mess, and now you got a laundry list of things that's wrong with you.
I
and
was
stuff
just about to
yourself with
say that.
pharma.
I was just about to say, no, it's not easy. I feel like it's
No,
not easy
I
to
meant
be on
I
the
meant
plus side.
easy in the way, like it's a lot of people's safety. Like a lot of black women, they find safety in being overweight. Like
And
even in my family,
Yeah.
just to be
even in my family,
transparent,
it becomes like a safe. It becomes a cushion for them because they're like, I'm comfortable here. Why should I change my entire lifestyle? How I eat, how I exercise, what I
and
do.
it's being
And
promoted and
that's why we
accepted,
need people like
especially
Ashley
by
coming on social media telling us how we need to be.
yeah,
And then they go in the comments and tell me how she's mean
yeah.
Well, they're
and
just
make think
hating.
pieces.
I
They
had
can't
such
take the truth.
a
Actually, very
thin
motivational.
I
Like
had a
he's
thin
actually
friend
very
really
motivational.
she, we have this whole thing with everyone claiming that, oh, you're fat phobic, you're this, you're fat shaming. And I had a friend and she was so, thin, she danced, and she was one of those people who would gas up, just being overweight. And my mother
Have one of
is
those.
somebody that's overweight. So I had to really check her, like, you don't know what it's like to be overweight. My mother was in the hospital every other week. It's not cute and it's not a trend. It's not something to promote. And so I'm glad that my mom is all the way down to like 160. But it is this trend of being like, oh, you're big, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. Yes, you are beautiful. However, your beauty is based on your health and how well you take care of yourself. And understanding where my mom was mentally and emotionally, that didn't come from her being confident. That didn't come from her
And
loving herself.
physically too, because
Yeah,
being overweight has such a huge physical strain on your body. Like your
it's so
body,
taxing.
it's
It's
very
taxing.
taxing. Your
It
heart,
aged her.
your body isn't meant to hold on to all that weight. Like your body literally can't process it.
At all.
And there's one thing too that I notice as well. Even when you are at a heavier size, if you notice, that affects the way how you show up and how you look. You'll either tend to look older or so, but even as well, I have even noticed this. Do not, whenever it comes to working on your weight, it's best to change for you, even though I will say the world responds to you differently. And it does matter. I hate to say it. And it seems like the world comes down harder on us. Ain't no seeming they do. But the world comes down harder on us regardless. But especially when you're plus size and you're black, I will say that is one of the worst things to be at times. And I'm not saying that in a sense of, either a sense of bullying, but just the way how the world responds to black women in particular in that sense. And I noticed, I will say, not everybody's going to be meant to be a size two or whatever, but it does seem as though it's best to make sure that you're able to have that strength of, number one, showing your actual discipline, which goes into the way how you take care of your body, because it just shows that you don't tolerate disrespect or anything.
Absolutely. And I was going to also say, not even only being plus size, like you can be, let's say you're like slim thick and you gain 30 or 20 pounds, that the world will treat you differently with
They
being
do.
thick. Yeah,
Yes,
versus
they
being
will.
slimmer. It's a
How,
world of a difference.
yeah, because I'll even tell you this. For me, just the way how I dropped 20 pounds, 20 to 30 pounds, I noticed this. I've been someone who has been able to date outside my race, but I will say just within those 20 to 30 pounds, they saw me number one as at the time, even though I still made sure that I had my elegance and my style and the way how I carried myself still showed up as poised. But sometimes the men still hold on to that whole fantasy of, oh yeah, she this, is she that, is she fun in the bedroom, is she, the way how they treat you with that. That actually is another thing as well.
Ashley, someone said white communities have healthy options. We don't. I don't know what it's like in America, but I can talk for the UK. It's definitely cheaper to eat healthy than it is to get takeaway every day. That's way more expensive. I don't know, Ashley,
Well,
about the
well,
America.
I'll be here to tell you. In certain black communities and like in the rural urban areas, there's a lot of corner stores that have nothing but junk food, and then in certain wealthier areas, that's where more of the grocery stores are that have the healthier options. So that's what I feel like that person was implying.
Yes, because I live in a caucus neighborhood, if you may. And okay, y'all know y'all have TikTok, so y'all see the grocery store Erewhon, right? So I'm there's like my neighboring store. Yes, you have healthier options, but guess what? They still don't even want us in those stores. I'm kind of
So,
have a strong presence, so I've been treated bad, but that don't mean I know that they don't want us to have access. That's the American way.
Quincy,
Yes.
let me sorry interject. They will never want us in their spaces, but that's not gonna stop us from going to their
Oh, honey,
spaces. For
please.
America, unless it's dangerous for you, I would say
Oh
don't
no, no,
go.
no. I disrupt all that because
Exactly.
neighbors included, they're not running into my ancestors
Because the
built
gas
this.
stations don't want us in there either. They're just a little bit more accepting because
What?
that's where we spend our money, and that's
The
How
gas
dare
station
they?
create
child
wealth for
Punjabi
themselves.
Poo can't tell me Nathan. But
You
what I
guys built, your ancestors built that country. How
oh yeah,
dare
so I
they?
live where I want to live as long as the funds is affording. So, but what I'm saying is, even so, I would rather take a cute drive for the benefit of what I'm putting in my body, right? If I have to go to three different stores to get it, that's what I tell everyone, get you some Floradex, take you some liquid iron, make sure you have your vitamin D3, make sure you put into you what you need because they're not gonna say take this. They're hoping you don't find out. Um, I tell women, listen,
Vitamin C, your iron. A lot of black women are iron
yeah,
deficient.
that's what the Floradex is, the
Know it.
liquid iron. I
Iron.
tell women, hey, go to the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. We carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. You need to let that out. Go 30 days in. They're like, what? That I don't care about how much
Go
it
to the
costs.
saunas. Get go to the sauna for a
Yes.
couple
Yeah,
months.
go to a
Let that stuff
sauna.
out. Like there's so
Hot
many
No, this just
yoga.
simply goes back to the point I was making
hot
earlier about
yoga.
black
Yes,
women being these
I love
workhorses in our
yoga.
community. At the end of the day, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to prioritize ourselves.
Yeah.
It makes the big difference from us being seen as somebody's mammy, maid, or auntie, or being this gorgeous, baddie, beautiful woman.
But let's
Right.
be honest, society loves it when we're overweight, when we don't look good. They love it because it's like it confirms,
It
oh yeah,
nourishes.
that's how all black women are.
Yes.
So when they see someone like Ashley or Quincy or Coco, all of you are beautiful, Mella coming in, it's like, what?
Black culture is
I know, and let
this
me
is
also
welcome.
say this
Yeah.
to everyone watching because on my platform, yes, I have a lot of black women who follow me, but we also have Italian women, Hispanic women. We have women from
Yeah,
all backgrounds struggling
Right.
with weight. So speak to them too, they're here
Right.
watching.
yeah.
Yes.
I
And
Right.
to be
I think
honest, it's really just as a American women too. We
Yes,
center
yeah.
food so much. Like, stop eating so much.
we
It's
do,
not that
and it's
serious.
an
Miss a
addiction.
meal. Like, it is really
Right? We
okay
out
to
here
miss
talking
a
about
portion.
decenter men. We got to decenter food.
decenter food. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's an addiction.
You
It's an
can miss a
addiction.
meal. Like, you could say, all I had was fruit and some water today. All I had, like, you don't have to center your life
And
around
infuse your
eating.
water. If you're one of those people that
Right.
can't drink water, infuse your water. Put
Yeah,
mint, put lime, put lemon, put something in it. But you need to drink water.
drink a lot.
But ladies,
Right.
I want y'all to
Alcohol
know.
contains a lot of
Ashley,
calories,
what are you
hidden
saying?
calories.
I was
Sorry guys,
gonna
Ashley's
say,
talking.
ladies, something that I learned just from speaking to women, like coaching and stuff like that, is that some women they don't drink or smoke, right? So to deal with their problems, they eat.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you have to. That's what they go to. So for comfort, for stress, after dealing with kids, after the boyfriend, the husband, after a long day, they go get a plate of food. So they have to change their emotional relationship when they're
Yeah.
feeling stressed. They have to look for something else. It's
Go
that
play.
too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that too. Not
Sometimes
making
in
Go on a
excuses. They
walk.
have
relationships,
to
we
find
do
something
that
else.
too.
Go on a
Just
walk.
go
Take
look
that
in the
part
mirror and
out.
say, I don't need that food, and make a salad.
The other
Come on.
thing I feel like
Watermelon.
the other
Yeah,
thing I feel
watermelon
like
is the
needs to
best.
be changed as far as mentality is who you talk to, right?
Hmm.
And so
Who
let me
you
tell
talk
you
to and
how
who you're in a relationship with, that plays a big part too.
that
Sometimes you have
too.
to let that phone be dry.
So when you are looking to be of change, that includes everything, right? Women gotta learn how to shut up. You talk too much, right? Because you can talk yourself out of your own goals for yourself. When it comes to anything body recomposition, anything to get your my mother died of cancer in 2012, right? So for me, my perception of life is different. Like I can't go out like that. That's not it. But at the end of the day, when I want to do something, I don't ask for permission. I don't ask for opinions and I don't look for suggestions. If it is your goal to change your weight, be it gain weight because you think you're too slim or lose the weight, make that real. You made it to where you got the job you wanted. You made it to where you planning what you eating. You at work talking about some. I think I want to make for dinner. Yup. And you make this full on spread after dinner. That energy could be fueled to make yourself better. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Me personally, I love food. I just know how to eat. I live for sushi. I could probably eat sushi every day. But I know that me eating sushi is not good for me. You know what I mean? As far as the weight, because it's raw fish. But it's still, I don't play with my DNA. I know there's things like diabetes. I love chocolate chip cookies. Yes, my kids always laugh like, "Why do you only eat two?" Because mommy loves them. So since I love them, two can turn into eight real fast in
Yep.
less than 5 minutes. And I know that I can. I don't know, I'm trying to make it out lit. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's not gonna be something because I love chocolate chip cookies. I'm just gonna tear them up. No, two is cute, dip it in a little milk, and I'm happy. You know what I mean? But you have to want it for yourself. Everybody can talk to you till they blue in the face. It's to day one or one day. It's
And sometimes the man you're laying next to is making you gain all
Yes,
that weight
yes.
for
And I was
you
yourself.
just
gotta go
speaking
too.
on
That's
that.
part
I
of the
was
And
just
just real
speaking
conforming.
quick
on
before y'all
that.
go,
I was
piggybacking off what Quincy was saying about doing it for yourself and making it count for you, we have to keep in mind that validation is expensive, but confidence is free.
sometimes
Yeah.
too, us as people, sometimes we need to really take a picture. I mean, take a picture of ourselves and look at
Yes.
ourselves
Cash.
and and pretty much look at ourselves. And if you look at that picture, like for example, I was at a graduation and someone took a picture of me at the graduation. And when I looked at that picture, I was so unrecognizable.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was my motivation. I was like, absolutely not. I hated everything I saw in the
Yeah.
picture.
I'm
And I'm
still
like,
not where I want to be.
I
that's
would even go further to say, look at yourself naked in the mirror. Like, make it a habit.
exactly.
Look at yourself
No,
naked in the
Yep.
seriously,
mirror
that's what
and
I'm
look
saying.
more
Like
Oh
humble in
yeah.
sometimes
it.
you just
Ooh,
have to take a
yeah.
picture. Or if you find yourself taking, or if you find people taking pictures of you and you feel like you gotta, you know, take multiple pictures, or you look fat this way, or you look big this way, then that's a sign to say, okay, let me lose some weight because every picture I'm critiquing. I look big in this picture. My arm look big in this picture. My stomach look big in this
Or you're
picture.
putting your hand over your
Or you
stomach
putting
every
your hand
picture.
over your stomach. If you got to keep putting your pocketbook over your stomach, then it's time to
Time.
change what you don't like. That's basically you. Or I'll give you a prime example. I have a girlfriend who literally, this was like 2 weeks ago, she literally told me that she was dating a guy and I guess she followed him on Instagram and he never took her on a date.
Oh.
But she seen this,
Uh-uh.
Ooh.
yeah, he never. Well, I think. Well, she thought it was because of her weight, but he never took her on a date. But she seen in his stories that he took another female on a date, and she probably wasn't his preference. He probably used her for whatever he used her for. But that's hurtful to see because then that messes with your self esteem as well. So if you feel like because you're bigger,
that's why he's not taking you out, and you probably know in your mind that that's the reason, then lose the weight. But like we said, weight is
All
such a
circles
You
right back
weight
to
weight
is
the
is such a
conversation
insecurity.
that
touchy
Ashley
topic.
started earlier today about not being
Hmm.
accepted or
Yeah,
not
weight
being
is
wanted
such
in
a
certain
touchy.
spaces because of how you
Exactly.
look.
And it's a touchy topic. I understand it. It really is a touchy
It
topic.
shouldn't be though.
But we
I feel
and
like
it
this
and it
should be
really
a more
shouldn't
normal
be. And it really
conversation.
shouldn't
It
be. I
shouldn't
want
be.
someone to tell me
It
if I'm getting
shouldn't.
fat. I want someone. Listen, when I saw the picture of me, I wanted someone to tell me in that moment, hey, this does not look like a good picture. But sometimes you need to take those pictures to see, like, oh,
And can I just say honestly, I understand that the totality of us losing weight should not be for a man. I just want to say this. I don't mean to be vulgar, but some of y'all will let him flip it and dip it and do it any kind of way he wants to. But where you draw the line is losing weight for him, when you've had babies for him, without being married
Somebody.
to him,
no, but
you've
then
done
you have the
everything
men
when
who
you.
will watch you get big. You have men who
Say
will
nothing.
literally meet you at your finest weight, and they will
Oh,
literally
they
watch
love
you
it.
get big as a house and
Oh,
won't
they
say
want to take you
nothing to
out.
you.
It's the fact that you let yourself
And
You
love
let
you.
yourself go, but then when you try to lose the weight, now here they go presenting you with things to keep feeding you because
That's
they
because
don't
that's a
want you.
familiar spirit relationship. And if you are in relationships like that, it's best for you to
Oh
drop them,
yeah, for
whether it
sure.
be
I had to remove
friendships,
myself from
relationships,
a
or even
relationship like
family.
that.
But I had
Yes,
You'll
somebody
find
try to
people
take me out the
family that
game like that.
those family members will try to hold you back with them. Like they don't
Yes.
want you to be a certain way, or even friends. I've lost friends on my weight loss journey. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've
Me
had
too.
Yeah,
to
that's a real thing. You will
you
lose
lose
friends.
friends, you
It
lose
be
That's
the
a real
girls for
thing.
that's
me.
a real thing. And then and
Yeah.
two,
members
for
side
some
eye
reason,
you.
I think like bigger girls, they tend to like want to hang with bigger girls. I mean, they
Yes.
tend to shy away
What
from
is
skinnier
that?
girls, and that's a real thing too. Like bigger girls hang with bigger girls because I think they're a little insecure to hang with smaller girls. That's just my
No, there's
opinion.
no
And that's the
accountability.
root of what Ashley brought this conversation up about women choosing their friends based off aesthetic, based
Yeah,
off what
and
you can
pretty
bring
girls hang
them.
Yeah,
with
that's
pretty
true.
girls.
So
I'm gonna be honest about
Pretty
that.
girl, yes,
Pretty
that's
girls
true.
hang
Pretty
with
girls
pretty
hang with
girls.
pretty girls,
Girls
and
with a certain
honestly,
body type,
yep,
hourglass hang out with the girls with the hour because they know what come. That's just the
they know
reality.
what comes with it.
Yep.
If you look
Yeah,
at
they know.
Instagram,
They know.
look at all the content creators on Instagram and the traveling girls, the girls who travel together, they all have the same aesthetic. If you look
Yeah.
through their pictures, they all
Me,
look
me personally, I'm friends with slim, medium, big, like all
Me too.
sizes. But yeah, I don't really
Yeah,
look
but
at size and
for
think we
people who
can't
are
be
trying to
friends.
social climb, they may attach themselves with people who are
100%.
so.
similar. And I see nothing wrong with that. If you have a
So
Yeah.
goal,
no, I
if
don't
this
see
girl,
anything wrong
hold
with that
on,
at
if
all.
this girl matches your vibe and your aesthetic and you have a goal, I don't know what that is. Maybe you want a certain lifestyle, maybe you want to be in a certain room and that person can help you. I don't see anything wrong with it if y'all both know what's up, like
See, here's my
do what you
thing.
please.
I'm an honest girl. Do I have friends that don't look like me? Of course I do. Let me tell you
Hmm.
one thing. I don't bring them everywhere I go. Why would I do that? You know why?
Oh,
Because their
Quincy.
energy is going to project because they feel insecure because they don't fit
Right.
what. Let me tell you something. One thing I
Oh,
will
I
not
don't
do is
agree with that
lie,
one,
right?
Quincy.
her. Let Quincy finish because she's
Yeah,
making a
let
point right now.
Quincy
Quiet
finish.
as it's kept.
Quincy, give it to us real,
Quiet
Quincy.
as it's kept.
Let me tell you
Insecurity
something.
breeds
See,
loud. It's so
most
obvious. Let
women
Quincy
cannot
finish.
handle that 100% truth. Let me tell you
Hmm.
why I wouldn't bring someone who doesn't represent who they are well, because that's a reflection of me, right? I hold myself in high regard. So let me give it to you on a lame way. If I have a Rolls Royce event to attend, right? I just had one. You think I'm gonna bring the girl who sit around watching what's some things called reality TV, eating donuts all day, versus the one who represents money, and I mean money as far as how she carries herself, how she cares for herself, because that's what's in the room is of value. When I go with that friend of Ruth's Chris, yeah, girl, because we're gonna eat, right? Do I ostracize her? No. But there are certain spaces and places you just like I'm not gonna have my friend from the hood with tattoos everywhere. I don't care how well she might be petite and sweet. She got tattoos everywhere. she has a ghetto diction when she speaks, and she can't get the hood mentality. She's not coming with me to certain spaces and places. Why?
That's like
That
bringing a
does
friend
not
that want to
make
fight everywhere.
sense. Money attracts money. If you have a goal to be great no matter where you are in life, you understand that this is not an attack. And if you feel attacked, do the work to change. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't
But you
feel
know what,
attacked,
Quinn? Because that
Quincy.
ain't Quincy,
But can I
that
just
really
say
does make a
something
lot of sense what
fabulous
you're saying.
quickly?
You
Because
said what? I
if
Can I
didn't
y'all
say
look
hear.
at
something quick?
I didn't hear.
Quincy,
Yes,
Quincy, you say you're confident, right?
of course.
A woman that's truly confident in herself doesn't look next to her and think, this woman that's next to me, because she looks this way, I'm not gonna get the same reception.
Oh, it's not
Because
about
the
me,
thing
baby.
is
It's
She's
about
about
not
how
just
confidence.
she's
saying,
gonna. It's her
right.
But one
experience.
sec,
Quincy,
can
can
I
I
say
help you
my
out real
point
quick?
now, please?
It's her. She's not saying just simply about how you look, how you act. Why would I bring somebody to my work function knowing that you like to fight?
Right.
Has
Right.
everyone seen the Monaco videos of all the
I
different
do.
types of women? Hold on. Has everyone seen the Monaco videos that come out of Monaco outside that lavish hotel? All the women look completely different. There's some slim,
They're well
some
dressed.
big,
Yeah, but
there's
they
some
all look
They are
like
medium.
they
well
could
There's,
still go
dressed.
to the
hold
same
on,
function.
Quincy.
They look
There's
different, but they all look like they could still be in the same room.
In the
Correct.
same
not
room,
all
yeah.
of them. Actually, I have to send you some videos. Some of them have tattoos. Some of them are larger. Not all of
That's
them
just
look
like
the exact same.
You
content
didn't hear what I
creators. You got
said.
some really good content creators out here, but they probably can't go further with their career because it might not be the look that they probably couldn't get certain brand deals, but can't because of their aesthetic. Like that's just the reality of it.
I've
well, you
seen
know
what you're
what?
talking
I
about.
will
Her,
give
the
y'all
girl with
an
the tattoos,
example.
right?
There's so many women with tattoos this year. There's
What
so
What was
many
her
bigger women,
nationality?
medium women.
One question. What was her nationality?
No, hold on. I've seen black women.
You
I've
didn't
seen
see
black
black
women.
women
I've
full
seen. Hold
blasted
on,
tattoos.
Quincy. May I speak?
Tattoos
Because I
are
feel
ugly.
like you're over speaking, and I'm trying to prove a
Go
point
ahead.
here.
Go
I've
ahead.
seen beautiful black women. I've seen beautiful white women. I've seen women with tattoos. I've seen women of all sizes from the Monaco. Men go for what they like. This is what I'm saying. So if you're with a woman who's walking next to you, you feel like she doesn't suit your so-called aesthetic, and you won't be seen with her because her aesthetic's different. That means you're not truly confident in who you are. I'm
I
sorry,
didn't say
you're
that.
not.
I said she doesn't represent me well because she
Exactly.
doesn't value herself, right? So when I say that, I have two daughters, two different daughters. My youngest daughter, you can look on my page, you'll see her. You're going to say, oh, that's your twin. She says, I understand you, Mom. Jasmine thinks you're mean. Why? I have rules to be my daughter. You are too. Now I pay for it, so there's no fight. You have to keep yourself well manicured, a manicure and pedicure. How you take care of yourself is how people will receive you. I've been saying this since they've been here on earth. Okay, I was hard on my mother. Mommy, you can't come up to my school like that. You need to let me show you what I want you to wear. Why? Because you represent me. Okay. If I so believe I'm who I am, I'm not, that means I'm not really confident if I'm okay with you looking a mess and I don't. That means I want to shine by myself. No, not this.
So when we are, as we
Quincy,
are
does
reclaiming that, as we are reclaiming that here, because this is a group of
Quincy,
black
does
women.
Oprah fit your aesthetic?
You said Oprah
I
carries
don't think
herself
it's just about
exceptionally
aesthetic. I don't think
well.
it's just about. I don't think it's just about aesthetic. I think what she's saying
Mindset.
is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Quincy, but I think what it is what the aesthetic represents. As black
Correct.
women, we
Oprah
are
is
under
well
a
dressed.
microscope, especially as American black women.
Wait,
There's
let
not
me
an
answer her question. She said, does Oprah carry this, use the word aesthetic? Oprah is some, I used to ask Oprah to adopt me. I look at her as a black, first off, find another one. You won't, number one. But Oprah not only carries herself well, she's transparent in her journey in this thing called life. Find a picture of Oprah and her hair wasn't top tier. Look at Oprah's diamonds, how she wears her clothes tailored. See, that's what I'm saying. How you show up and represent yourself is who you believe you are. Whether she was however many pounds here, then she slim here, then she slim there, or bigger there, that's never what I said. I said I wouldn't have someone who doesn't value themselves. I just believe in that. And you couldn't change my mind about it because that's what I believe. And I think women should show up and show out that everybody stops and stares, no matter what it
But
is.
Quincy, darling, you said you wouldn't go out with a girl that's in tattoos and from the hood.
Because you
I
have to
said,
She's
understand
in
that
I didn't
there's
say
tattoos.
something
that.
to the saying of birds of a feather flock together.
I didn't
Like,
say
as
that.
much
She
as
did
we want
I
to
not
said
act like
there's
it's
say
certain
not
places
real,
I
it
wouldn't
is.
bring them.
Let me give you a
not
better
only that,
example of
Quincy
her.
did not say that she would not
This
hang
is
out
what
with
I'm
a girl from the
saying.
hood. What she was saying was if you carry that mentality of someone who is poverty stricken, that's exactly what she was saying. And also, too, what she was saying is when you walk into a room with people who are not like minded, it does take down your level. And not only that, who you say that you are or who you think you are, it actually kind of makes people question that. Even you kind of question it a bit if you walk into a room with someone who does not fit the life where you're going. And if you hear a lot of millionaires and billionaires speak, here's exactly what they said. Grant Cardone, I don't care for him as a person, but I love his business values. He said this. He
Billionaires
said
and
whenever
millionaires,
he
they
is
buy
dating
into
someone, he said
personality.
this. He
Wait, let her
said he
speak.
vets all of his. Oh, I keep speaking, but he vets all of his friends pretty much where he wants to know who your mama is, who your daddy is, where you came from, where you live, what does your apartment look like, what do you do, what do you want to do? Because that's really how you got to vet people, because you might end up with the wrong people around you
Hello.
if you don't, depending on where they come from, whether it comes with their background. But some people have a chance to ascend because that's not where they're at currently.
I disagree because Quincy, those same
Okay.
people that she's saying with tattoos from the hood or too big or
Thank you,
this,
Mark.
hold on a sec, fabulous, that she wouldn't walk around with or take to certain places. Sometimes
No.
those people that she's looking down on can rise up 10 times above
But
her.
her,
That's
can
why
Oh,
you
I
should never
so
to
look
who
her,
down
said
on
she's
I'm
not
looking
looking
anyone.
down?
down on them. I don't take
Who
it
said I'm
as
looking?
her looking down on them. You just have to keep in
Exactly.
mind that birds of a feather flock together. So you show up in a room with somebody who is known to be a certain type of way, people might perceive you to be that way.
Because
And that's not
what?
the
You're
image you want
guilty
to
by
reflect
what?
on yourself.
What are you guilty by?
Association.
Association. Number one. Number two, let's keep in mind, I grew up in South Central Los Angeles. When they, all the gang members and all that, just because I grew up there don't mean I'm of that. Let's say that. Number one, her. You don't know what it's like to be in the States and in America where you're always perceived as something you're not as a black woman.
Talk about it.
So the
I
thing
understand. I
is, what
get
I
you.
do, what God has gifted me to be able to do is help you level up. It's either you get with it or get left. I don't owe nobody nothing. Life is too short for me to drag you along with me, and you don't want to do it for yourself. Can you pick up the phone and call me? Yes, not too much though. I don't want to hear baby daddy drama because I don't even
Yeah.
have that.
But
Okay?
Quincy, darling, that
That if
same
I
girl
don't
that
do
you're
low
saying you would
vibrational
not go out with,
conversations. Let me tell you something. I live such a peaceful life. I have no drama.
I
I mean
understand, but
zero.
that same girls that you're talking about that you would not go out with, they
Sweetie,
could
let
actually
me
hold on a
explain
sec,
something to
Quincy.
you. I
They
want you
could
to
be
tell
the
me that I
ones
was
that
honored
open the door
as
for
the
you.
most
They could be.
impactful. Let me tell you something. So you don't know me. You just going off of
No,
whatever.
I'm just saying,
Let me tell you
hypothetically, let's
something
say
right
then,
now. I
Quincy.
want you to hear me. I know what I'm talking about. I honored as the most impactful youth mentor. And they said they've never seen the change in these girls. I mentor girls that have been
Oh
sex
God.
trafficked, young black girls that's outside doing God knows what. And all of them say, I want to be like Quincy when I grow up. I never
Quincy,
imagined
you're
this
not
would
the
be my
queen, babe.
life.
I'm
Why?
sorry, but you're
Because
not
they
the queen.
understand this 16-year-old mother. You don't know me. This
But
girl
you're
who
not
was
the
a
queen.
16-year-old.
You're
Listen,
moving around like
to
everyone is
understand is
beneath
to
you.
listen. To understand is to listen. Because baby, I've
What?
been
Don't
here
raise your
and
voice
I
because I'm not
listen.
raising my
I was a,
voice.
I was a millionaire by the time I was 25, and I had my daughter Jasmine at 16 years old, and my mother laughed at me and told me my life was over. I said, "Watch how God works." My three children that I had by the time I was 19 all were in private school, and I never was a hoe. I used my brain, my God-given talent to fund
Quincy,
and
no
fuel
one
my
called you that
goals
yet.
and visions. I'm speaking. I
Please,
am
her.
speaking, right?
Stop shouting.
So if I can do what needs to be done to uplift myself up out of a quote unquote negative situation, there is no excuse for anybody. So if I know TT from the hood is still on bullshit and I run into her, what's up, TT? What's up?
Quincy,
Yeah,
oh
you
my
do sound
God,
rude.
you still the same girl. Oh my God, I miss you. I miss your friendship. That's who I am, right? Titi not coming with me to this little silly event that I have to attend. When I'm honored, I'm the only black woman in that room, and
We're all
these
black
are
women here.
real billionaires. I can show you. I don't make this up. I'm not tooting my own horn. This is God's path He wrote for me. So these billionaires got all this money, white people, but this little girl from South Central that was a teenage mother has had the heaviest
So many black
impact.
women want teenage mothers, but okay.
What?
No. Let's stop this right now.
You take it
Because
back.
what I'm hearing from Quincy is passion. And her, you keep saying she's angry. She's not.
I'm
When
not
I
an
you
didn't
angry
come,
say
woman,
angry,
sis.
no,
Ashley.
no, hush. Because let me say this. When you come from nothing, when you come from the inner cities and you don't make excuses for yourself, and you're not laying on your back to get where you need to be, which is what Quincy is saying, and you rise above the ashes, you have a certain level of pride and you don't tolerate or accept BS from people who say they can't do it. That's what I'm hearing from her. And I know that's not everyone's
Leah.
lived experience. That's not everyone's experience, you know? So let's just be respectful. We don't have to call each other's names. We don't have to say you ain't a queen. We don't have to be petty.
Exactly.
And if I can just real quick jump in, I think what's getting lost in translation about her, Quincy saying she doesn't want to be around certain energies is we forget that energy is transferent. Somebody come around you with the wrong type of energy or the wrong type of problems, that come off on you. You ever be around somebody who always got something going wrong? They always down and out. It's just like, listen, I don't want to be around all that. Everything
Oh,
good over
something that
here.
sucks
If
the
you can't
energy
figure
out
out
of
what's going on
you.
in your life, you need to go back to the drawing board and figure that out. Don't bring that to me. So I think that's what Quincy is saying about not being around certain type of energies and entities, because that can grab onto you and it can affect your peace. It can affect your life. So I don't think that there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I don't want to be around this type of energy. I don't want to be around this type of person.
And
That's what I feel
sometimes
like is getting lost in translation.
But I
And we can
understand,
also
Karen. I
we can
understand.
also disagree without calling each other's names. That doesn't mean you have to
That's
agree with
true.
everyone, you know?
But
But
Ashley,
let's
I
Okay to
apologize,
agree to
but
disagree
uh-huh.
for her.
what I will say, Ashley, is some of the people that, let's just say, for example, Quincy, because she said it here openly that she would not go out with certain people. Those certain people that she's saying that she won't go out with, they could be the ones that open the doors in the places she wants to go. You should never look down on anyone. Some of the people that have helped me out in my life have been people that I thought, okay, this person's probably not going to help me. And the people that I thought that would help me didn't help me. So this is why it's important not to look at aesthetics and be like, oh, I'm not gonna go with her because she
but I
looks
think
like
there's
this. Or
two
this
different.
room's gonna see me a certain way
But
because she
I don't
looks
think
like.
that it's necessarily
It's
looking
not
down.
true.
I feel like
That
it's
at
just a
all.
matter of compartmentalizing your friendships and the people that you
Yes.
have in your life. That's what this whole conversation is about, compartmentalizing the people that you have around you. Hey, I guess what? I know that this person is for this type of energy. I know that this person could be with any type of energy. I know that this person can go to this type of function. It's about compartmentalizing those that are around you. And if
'Cause
you
I
know that
never
certain
heard
people are going to
her.
come with negative, you
Yeah.
don't want them around you too much.
I never heard her
Wealthy
once
people
say
buy
that she would.
personalities.
No,
They
I
buy
never heard her
people and
once say
personalities.
that.
They don't buy aesthetics. They buy people and personalities. I
Or it's
disagree.
whether you agree with Quincy or not, this is the reality of life. People are gonna gravitate towards who they want to gravitate towards and go places with people that
Correct.
they want to go places with, regardless whether you agree or not. So let's agree to disagree and we can move
Yeah.
on.
And
Because
then
I never heard her once say that it was about dropping a friend
never
or
said that.
mistreating a friend or putting casting a friend. I didn't hear that. What I heard was like Coco said, compartmentalizing your friendships. If I know that I have a cousin, Pookie, Ray Ray, whoever, I love my cousins. I hang out with my cousins. I don't abandon my family. Will they go with me to this particular event? Probably not, because that's probably not even where they want to be. They don't even want to be there. So why would I include them in that? And they have not even reached out to ask. So I didn't hear her casting them out to the side. And then on another note,
Confident
it's extremely
people are
hard.
confident enough in themselves that they don't think who's next to them. They're leveled up to the
No, you
point where
have to
it doesn't
always think
matter
about
who's
who's next to
walking
you,
with them.
especially as Black women. That's where our experience is different. You have to think about everything. You have to
We
figure
have to
out. You
change
have
that.
to no, but we
We have to change that then.
I don't know exactly where you're from or not, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I
I just believe that you're thinking that it's judgment, but it's vetting. And when you're vetting out friendships, relationships, or even if you're joining some sort of organization, I think that you should vet.
Mm-hmm.
That's how nonsense happens. And a lot of people are not vetting. And then when nonsense happens, they want to play victim and
Right.
oblivious as to what's going on.
See, 1 second,
I'm gonna speak for me
because
because she keeps
those same
Wait,
talking.
one
people,
at a
one
time,
second,
ladies. One
Quincy,
at a time. One at a
one
time.
second. Those same people you're saying you wouldn't go out with to here. You don't know that girl that you're saying, oh, actually, I don't want to go out with her because she doesn't fit the aesthetic in the place I'm going. That could be the girl to open the door for you when you get there. The people might not like you, but they might like her, even if she doesn't fit the aesthetic.
I
They
can't
might
relate.
prefer her over you, and she might be the gateway of you staying in that room.
I can't relate. I don't go anywhere that I'm not invited to.
I
It's
know.
so
I
bad.
can't. I don't
And
even
that's
want to.
So here's the
and
thing.
the thing is, let me respond to her because she keeps saying my name. And she said I was yelling. I'm a true Scorpio. If you know anything about a Scorpio, when we mean it, we mean it, right? And so I'm not yelling at you because I don't yell at my kids. Well, who are you? But to listen to respond is very different to listening to understand. You ask me a question. I am an honest girl who has no shame. I'm not taking this one with me, but that don't mean I divorce her as a person in my life. But there's levels to being in my life because I won't have the girl from the hood who got all this going on with her still around my daughters. Because that's not my perception of who I want my daughter to emulate. I wouldn't have certain men that's gangbanging still around any of them. I have 3 sons, not one is a gang member. Let's say that, okay? Let me tell you something. I treat everything in my life as if a gift. So I take care of it, whether it's a friendship, an interaction, or anything. I don't owe you to take that girl and you talking about she gonna open the door. What door is she opening? She can't
Did she
open one
open it
for
for
You
me.
herself?
don't know in life. You don't know in
She's
life
not
who's
Did
open.
she
gonna
She
open
open
it
didn't
the
for
door
choose
for
herself?
you.
herself.
But
You
I
She
never
feel like
know.
the
didn't bet
thing
on
is we're getting
herself.
so caught up on
People,
aesthetic
But
that we fail to
Quincy,
realize sometimes it's simply about
Quincy,
character.
you
Exactly.
never
Hang on real
know.
quick. Let
You
me say this real
never
quick.
know. Oh, go on,
We're
Coco.
we're getting caught up on the aesthetic part. I feel like Quincy is leaning more into the character of somebody's being. Forget your looks. Who are you as a person? That's not what she's not talking about. The aesthetic and how somebody looks. Yes, looks. It's a superficial world. I said that before. But sometimes who a person is at their core and their character, they cannot be in certain spaces with you. That's like you inviting a thief into your home and then getting mad when something go missing.
Correct.
And then Coco, to
Okay.
add, Quincy has 5 children. Why would she want certain people around her children?
No, we're not talking about kids here. This
No,
panel is
but
not
but
about
still,
Women
kids.
don't.
obviously
Let's
it's
let's
more a
go
part
back
of
to
her
the
life.
point where she said she
All a
wouldn't
part of
go
her
out
life.
with a girl that's tatted from the hood, or she wouldn't go out with a certain girls that have a certain look. Let's just keep it real. You never know in life who can help you.
Let's keep it
You
real.
never
Certain people
know.
are for certain locations. You don't go everywhere with everyone. Like I have friends that I can't go to jazz clubs with. They'll be bored. I have certain friends that I can't go to an opera with. They would be bored.
Do
I
she have tattoos?
I was
No,
just
hold on.
thinking
It
that.
doesn't matter.
let me
No,
tell you
it
something.
doesn't matter. No, hold on. What can I speak?
I got tattoos at 17. Guess what I do? We remove them. You're not gonna know why. This doesn't fit who I am as a
I
woman who I
would like
chose
to
to
go
be.
back to the ladies in the video. I just want y'all thoughts because I don't think I heard it. What was y'all thoughts on what the woman was wearing that got rejected from the club? Like, what
So
did y'all think about
so
their
I
look?
I'll jump in first real quick. I feel like they were dressed for the city that they were in, but it just played into their body types because it had nothing to do with their skin color because there were multiple women of different skin complexions. So it was really about their body type and size.
So let
I
me
think it
ask you
was
this
both
question:
though.
Do you think that experience? Do you think that experience for them would motivate them to get in shape?
No.
I think if
Might
anything, that would motivate
necessarily
them not to.
motivate them, but it might make them start thinking differently.
Okay,
No, because
I
once
want
she
you guys
said
to
too
think of
dark,
Lizzo.
that made it about something else. Like
Lizzo,
it would be
I
one
want
thing if
you
you
guys
were to
to
say
think
too
of
big.
Lizzo. Remember when Lizzo first came out and the weight made her, people started talking about her weight, and that actually made her want to be body positive, and she stayed in that for years. Like that was her whole center of her like being of being quote unquote body positive. So I think this experience for those women it's gonna be a wake up call, but it's not gonna click in. Like someone planted the seed, but it's up to them to grow the seed.
Let
Correct.
me also let me answer this comment because someone said everyone on this live is fat phobic, and I want to say this.
I'm
Okay,
definitely
hold
not.
on. Let me say this
Go on,
because to
Ash.
me, and please don't be offended. I don't think fat phobic or skinny phobic is a thing because I'm not afraid. A phobia it means to be afraid of someone when you see them, like seeing a tiger. I don't believe I'm scared of someone because they have more curves on their body because they have a little bit more weight on them. No, like we have to stop saying that. We just have to stop saying that.
Why we
Like there's
should end
no
the
phobia. A
conversation.
phobia
Let
is
me
being
say,
scared of
I'm
a
fat
tiger.
phobic for myself. I don't like how fat looks on my body.
Yeah,
I
I
think,
think you know what it is. I think it's
I'm
more
not
of the
fat
bigger
phobic for
people
other
who have an
people.
issue with the conversation. I think it's more of the bigger people who have the issue with the conversation, and it makes them uncomfortable because it's not an uncomfortable. We're having a
It's a
conversation that needs to be had. It's a good conversation. I
okay.
think that people who are of bigger size are the only ones who normally have issues with the conversations. And if you do, then that's something you got to fix. We
I
know
think
if we're big, we know we big. If we small, we know we small. If we look good in clothes, we know we look good in clothes. If we don't, we know we don't. But it's a conversation that should be had because guess what? These conversations motivating somebody right now. Somebody is getting motivated by these conversations. Somebody watched
Yes.
that video of those girls and said, "Damn, you know what? It's time for me to lose weight." Because that is an experience. It can happen to anybody. You get what I'm saying? If you want to be in those spaces like Miami, where it's a bunch of millionaires, billionaires, fine people, then you got to look the part. And that's just it. If you don't want to look the part, then you have to go elsewhere. But if you
and
know you want to be in those settings, do the work to be in those settings. That's all we're saying. If you want to be around billionaires, if you want to be around millionaires, we know that they don't want to be around fat people or
Oh,
bigger people.
billionaires like all sizes. That's not
and
true.
that
I
could be
know. I
true.
know
That could be
multi-millionaires.
100% true. But I feel like what she's trying to say
That's
is
not true.
the fact that people struggle with accountability, the fact that the larger it's the women that are bigger. And again, I'm doubling down on it. I'm not a skinny woman. So anybody in the comments saying that everybody on here is fat phobic, absolutely not. I am
No,
not the
not at
smallest
all.
person. But I just want to say sometimes people struggle with accountability and that's why they get upset with stuff. It's
And
kind of
that's
similar
exactly why you get upset.
Some of these
it's similar to a
multi-millionaire
woman
men.
who, when her man cheats on her, what's the first thing she want to do? Go run down on the female. Why? Because it's harder to look at the person she got to live with. We have to live with ourselves. It's harder
I
to
know,
look in
but
the mirror and hold
Coco,
ourselves accountable.
these multi-millionaire men, they marry slim women as a trophy, and behind closed doors they see completely different women. They're
Yeah.
type, so it
But
can't
how
be.
many
No,
millionaires
hold
and
on, Shams, let
billionaires
me
do
say
you
something,
know?
because I've been around those men since 18.
And
I've been
her,
in the
you
game
did say
from
I'm
a
assuming
young
Have you
age.
dated those men?
her.
Because I
You
have.
said you were a multi-millionaire. You said that at the start of
No,
the
I
live.
didn't say I
So
was a multi-millionaire. I said I've made seven figures from doing what I've done. I've not stated, but I said from 18 because I've made money from meeting men with money. They always have the poster.
this
They
person
always, hold on a sec. They have the slim, Ashley, sorry, they have the slim woman as a trophy for the
So
other
who do
men.
they
But
marry her?
hold
Who
on
do
one
they
second.
marry?
No, hold on. Can I speak? But let's say all rich men, all their type can't be slim women. Let's be real. Some of them are gonna like it on the thicker side, but what they marry is the slim woman because it's a trophy. It's a symbol to show to
It's
the
what
other
they
men.
like.
So let's not look down
It's
on
what they.
someone for their
Why
weight.
aren't they marrying the bigger girls? Why are they seeing the
But
bigger
they
girls
still making
behind
sure that
closed
they're
doors?
paying her and looking
Why
after
are
her.
they seeing the bigger woman behind
I,
closed doors?
I'm not a
Why
man.
isn't why isn't the bigger woman getting the same experience as his wife?
But okay, but the bigger woman, it don't mean that she's not getting her bills paid and she's getting her money.
And like
Let's be
somebody
real.
said in the comments, let's be
That
real.
was my
Most
point,
men
though.
don't want bigger women. Let's just
That's
be
not
real about
true.
it.
That's
It
not
is
true because
true.
I know
It's
men with
true.
money.
It's true. And whether you want to believe it or not, that's up to you. It is true.
So
Most men do
why are
not
you
want bigger women.
screaming?
I've been smaller. I've been a little thicker. When you're thicker, you ain't bigger women are not just turning heads all day. They're not.
Correct.
Let's be honest. They're
That's
not.
not
Bigger women
true.
are not turning heads all day.
No,
When you go
listen,
to
I
the
know
beach,
men,
listen, when
they
you go
see
to the
someone as
beach,
slim as
when you
me.
go to the beach and you see a woman in a size
5 in a bikini and you see a woman in a size 14 in a bikini, which is more appealing? Be
I'm not
honest.
going to talk about what is more appealing. I'm talking about the men that I'm talking about. Some of them will see me, and the next week they might be out with a woman that's 200 pounds more than me. Their type is not
Out
very
with no
slim.
woman that's 200 pounds, you're lying.
But you're saying they may
I'm not
see you,
lying. I'm
so
telling the
so are
truth.
you
I'm telling
selling
my
it?
truth.
So are you selling it? Because if you're selling it, that's a service that you're providing.
Excuse me, did I say, Ashley, could you jump in here? Because I'm not going to
I asked a
do...
question. I didn't accuse you.
Yeah,
You said I've
okay.
been seeing men since I was
Actually,
18.
I think she's out of line now.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
out of
So
line.
let me say this. What I heard you say, her, was you became a multi or a millionaire
I didn't say
from dealing
multi.
with, you said from dealing with men who have money. You know I have a good memory. One thing everyone knows about me, I have a great memory.
I didn't state what I done for the money. So
That's
for
what I'm
Quincy
saying. Someone in
to
the
jump
comments said
in...
I
most.
asked. A question
But
is
Quincy,
Yeah, but
it's not your
her,
business.
Just like
you
someone
said
in the
from
comments said
okay.
dealing
Now
most
it's
with
not my
men.
business.
most bigger
Quincy,
women.
Quincy, let me just say this. It's not your business. You came
Oh,
here on
okay.
this platform and said you're not a 304. I don't want to say that word on Ashley's live.
Most
But
Nah.
someone
bigger
that has
women would love to be
someone that has
small.
to
Asked you
prove
to tell
something
us.
usually is
You said
hiding
at
something.
18. See, I got a daughter that's 19 and she don't hang around men. How about that? So if
That's
you're
your
18
kid.
hanging
But if
around
That's
men
your
you
making
choice.
money, it's only one
Why
thing
are we
that you're
talking
doing to
about your
make the money.
kids?
I
if you talk,
said
listen,
you can hang around men.
if you talk to 100 big women right now and you ask them, hey, if you could lose B, would they say no? I don't want to lose any weight. I'm okay with what my weight is right now, or would they want to lose?
It's the way that you're saying it.
Most bigger women would love to be smaller. Let's just be honest. If you did a survey with 100 women right now and you said, hey, would you rather stay your size that you are, or would you rather drop 50 pounds overnight? Which one would they want to do?
We should actually
I
do a
agree.
survey.
It's very superficial. I don't know. From what I've seen men with money meet women that are larger too and cash her out too.
But
Like it's
Heather,
got
the
nothing to
men are
do
not
with
marrying these
aesthetic. It's
women.
what the man likes, Quincy. It's the
What are they
personality that
cashing out
sells.
for?
Marrying these
What are
women.
they cashing out for? A
It's
spade
not
is
your
a
business
spade.
what they're cashing out for. I don't need to go into
A
what I
person
do.
who does deflect when they're
Quin-
asked a question
no, I'm
is
not
guilty.
So let me
deflecting.
say,
I'm
One
just
so let
at
me
a
ask you a
time,
question.
We're talking about a
The
service
man
Ashley,
that
time.
this is not
so let
okay.
me
One
ask
at
you
a
a
a
question.
time.
service.
Heather, the man that's driving a Ferrari and he has one of those small Ferraris, is he putting a 200 or 300 pound woman in that Ferrari?
If he
No.
likes her, then yes.
Listen, when a man is provided or paying for a service, a man will sleep with a corpse. So let's not do that. So if a man is cashing out a woman, he is paying for something, okay? So whether he like Vicky, who's 110 a day, and then
I haven't stated
he like
services,
he
darling.
like
You're the
the
only
he
one
like
trying to
One
push
at a
services onto
time,
me,
please.
listen.
One
which
at
I
a
think that's
time.
what you do.
I don't. Aw, you're defensive for the truth. So when a man is
I'm not
paying
defensive.
for a
I'm just
One
not owning
at
service,
up
a
to
when a
anything.
time.
man
There's
is
a
Come on, we're
paying
difference.
for
grown. We can't talk one at a time.
yes, when
One
a
at
man
a
is
time.
paying for a service, then he may want to have variety. Okay, a man is not cashing out anything to a woman unless sales are involved, or that's his wife. That's still a contract that money is involved. So when a man is doing so, I don't think he's really. He might have a fetish that he's fulfilling. Okay, so when
What?
we talk about relationships, real relationships, the women who are getting married, the women who are getting chosen, and the women who are getting shown off. When you do the analysis of the percentage, majority fit in a size 4 or 6 or what, I don't know them sizes, but they fit on the slimmer end of the spectrum. When a man takes a woman to a black tie, that is not his wife. She looks a hot gelatine. She looks stunning. Okay. He's not bringing the one he may sleep with for just to get his rocks off real quick. Those are two different things. You got to understand how men look. They want something that represents them well. Now, if she got tattoos, he may, if it's his moment, he may not really trip because it's his moment. But if he's entering into certain rooms and spaces and places, a man wants something that represents him well via her aesthetics and probably her brain. And that's all we're saying.
And
I
not for
know, I
nothing,
know
Quincy
rich
just
men
made a
that go
very
out
good
with.
point.
Hold on a
Quincy
sec.
just
I know rich
Hold
go
men
on.
that
ahead.
go out with bigger
He just
women
makes a
and they
very
take them
valid
to
point.
nice events, and they're bigger women. It's about the personality and the character, not so much the size. The size does help.
Dating women for personality and character. Let's be for real. Let's be so for real.
Exactly. That's
No
exactly what
man
I'm
is
No
no
saying.
man is
man is
dating you
pulling up
for
in the
personality
spot
and
and he looks
character.
across the room and sees a woman and says, "Oh, I want to know her for her personality."
I will say this to her's point. I do get where a billionaire or multi-millionaire man will marry a skinny woman, but behind closed doors,
Yeah,
he may have other interests that may shock you or surprise you. And
yeah,
I'm not saying a curvy woman. It could be something you would not even think about.
exactly.
He could be
So
a
I do know that that's going on in the world. Like that's a real thing for
And
sure.
And
Ashley,
actually, it
sorry to
happens
interject, but it's
for
not always
men.
even a bigger women that they're seeing behind closed doors. It's
Right.
also T women. Let's be
of
real.
Right,
course.
right. I didn't want to go into that. But yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
They love them.
Yes. Yes.
You
Men
Yes.
said
like
what?
men.
What woman? T woman?
If men
Oh,
can get away with loving and liking men and doting on men without being judged, they would do it.
Well,
Right.
they do it in
Yes.
jail. So they do it.
Especially men with money. They love it at the top and you know what at the bottom. They love them.
But I think I was saying was were they getting the same experience as the wife? Like the ones that they're seeing behind the closed doors, are they getting the same experience?
But Shania, would you rather be the mistress or the wife? Because
I'd rather be the mistress. Ugh.
either one is not getting a good experience.
The wife is the one that gets treated the worst.
But
I
her name is on the paperwork, baby. Let's focus on the money.
It don't matter. That
The
don't
mistress
matter.
ain't getting nothing. You might not get
Nothing.
That's the
invited to the
mistress is
That's the
getting
funeral.
paid
thing.
really well
I
behind
think I
closed
think
doors.
I
on your
formed it
point.
before
Hold
she
on a
was
sec.
with
Let
that
me just
man.
interject
We
really
cannot
quick,
go
please.
from we cannot go from oh, but the big girls, oh, they're getting cashed out behind closed door, and then look at Lauren. But Lauren is skinny, was a woman before the man. So what are we really
I
talking about?
understand, but Jeff might have not picked her because she's skinny. He might have picked her because she's beautiful and she has good personality and they have good
Well,
chats.
I
Let's
think
be
That
also,
real.
let
definitely
me say
goes
this.
into
I believe
gender.
it's alleged that, or I think this is confirmation that they were both cheating on their spouses when they
They
met.
were.
See?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
That's how they met. I guess that's how that was set up. Allegedly. That's
That's
what they
And
were.
I want to throw in too quickly the fact that when you are dating or being around certain type of people and getting access to certain type of environments, it's going to motivate you to want to keep your body and your image in a certain type of way because you have these events to go to, you have these
yeah.
spaces to be in. You're going to want to show up looking like your best self. And so guess what? It's like, you know what? Yeah, I might love myself at this way, but I might look better in like 10 pounds, 20 pounds less so that way I can wear these type of outfits and look better in these certain type of environments. So
Exactly. And Heather, I'm not saying that bigger women are more unattractive or unattractive. I'm basically saying the typical billionaire, I person, that's just my personal opinion, won't go for a bigger girl.
Not
Well,
true.
Shayna, I want us to also think about different cultures. Like in Arab cultures, some Arab men
Yeah.
do marry bigger women. In African cultures, some African men do marry bigger women. But
Yeah.
if we're talking about like American
I think I'm talking more
culture,
about like American,
if
Or
we're talking
but
small.
about
then that's my
American
thing
or
though.
culture,
like what's
I brought
presented,
that up
like what's
because her
presented
is
to the
not
world.
American, so maybe
Like
she's
when
not
you
seeing that perspective. Because I know in England, my dad and my brother is in England. I visit often, every now and then. In England, men marry women based on anything. So it's like
yeah.
there's no sizing, there's none of that. Like you will see a big guy with a small girl, you see a bigger girl with a smaller guy. Like
Yeah, I think I'm
that's
pretty
not a
much just
big.
talking about America,
Yeah, in
like
America it's different.
just
But I
like
feel
even
like
when you look at the videos and stuff like that, like you're not typically seeing bigger women in the videos or like
no, because men associate bigger women with being mammy, somebody that's going to take care of them. That's why they, if anything, that's why they're marrying and getting with bigger women because they view them as somebody that's going to cook for them, that's going to clean up after them. They don't view bigger women as somebody that's a sex symbol to them. Yeah, it might be
Or a
fun when
check,
you rolling
or a
around on
check.
the mattress, but
Yeah.
they view
right.
bigger women as a mammy, somebody that's going to take care of them, like they mamas, they grandmothers, and stuff like that. They don't view bigger black, especially black women, as a sex symbol. They just don't.
Give your input.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak based on like personal experiences. I was about like 320 pounds a year ago. I grew up big majority of my life because of medical issues. So I lost about 100 pounds in like the last year ago, within the last year. And I just want to say, I feel like her's point isn't necessarily based on reality in America, because regardless of how you feel about it in America, they don't treat big people kind out here at all. And once I lost 100 pounds, I knew that it was coming because I seen my mom lose that amount of weight. And it made me a little bit bitter because I knew that the world was going to treat me differently. And it's sad to say, but the more weight that I lose, the more access to things that I get. And that even includes dating. Like, I'm not at the weight where I want to say men would see me as a wife or a girlfriend, but I am at the weight where I'm able to go on dates now. I'm able to be around men in public now without them feeling embarrassed. So it's not like reality of thinking that a millionaire or a billionaire is going to be seen with a bigger woman when that's not even societally accepted in America. And to be completely honest with you, me being as big as I was is very uncomfortable for you to be like, okay for me to be with a man behind closed doors, but then you also in the same sentence say that these same men are also sleeping with T women behind closed doors. They're doing crazy things with women, strap-ons and things like that. I don't want to be put in that same category at all. Most other bigger women don't want to be put in that same category at all. So I don't think that it's a bad thing for a woman to want to be a man's eye candy. I don't think that it's a bad thing for a woman want to be the wife over the side chick. Most bigger women do want to be the wife and not the side chick. I want to be the wife and not the one that's getting laid down behind closed doors just because of my size. That's the reality of things. And whether people like to believe it or not, based on your appearance, the world is, well, in America, it's based off status and aesthetics. If you don't fit that status or aesthetic, no, you're not going to be going out with the women that looks like Ashley and Quincy. You don't fit that aesthetic. The type of men that they go around, if you're particularly a bigger woman or seen as not societally attractive, those men are going to be extremely mean to you. They're going to belittle you. Why would you want to even be in that environment? That's the reality of it.
And quiet as it's kept, everybody likes to think that, oh, because they're laying down with you behind closed doors because you're bigger, that makes you more sexually attractive. No, sometimes they view that as you being easier because they feel like you have low self-esteem.
And that's what I'm saying. And that was a conversation that my friend was having with me. Like, she's never going on dates and she believes it's because she's bigger, but she's watching someone's stories where he's clearly on dates with girls who are smaller. So it can mess with
That's
your
true.
self-esteem.
But don't you think these men are pitting each other against each other? The slim versus big.
Personally
Like, let's
think
be
men
real.
are women's first critics. Like, I think that the way women feel about themselves is based on how men view them.
Okay, so I like to reiterate this, right? Let's get on this one thing. I'm an analytical person. When we look at the T girls, baby, they look good, right? Let me tell you what they do. Slim waist, the hair is on point, the makeup is on point. When they transition, a lot of them look better than women. Not gonna hold you, okay? Then you can get upset by the truth.
Yeah,
Now, when those men are saying if it walks like a duck, then it must be a duck, because that's the point. Their eyes are leading that thing downstairs to move in that direction. If it got titties at the top and at the bottom, but it looks like a girl, they going hard, right? There might be offense. There's men who ask someone, you used to have a thing? Let me see. I got friends. I know what's going on. But I bet you my friends that may either still had a thing or sex changes, the way they take care of themselves, they're total knockouts, because they are men who understand how men think. So if you don't usually see a heavy set trans woman, you just don't. You may see a very tiny, small few, but guess what? They still are in alignment trying to get that dream body so they can appeal to the man. That's all that this conversation was generally about. Whether the man, we're not talking about the man having fetishes, we're talking about reality. He's still sleeping with those people because we all know if men knew that they could get away with certain things without being judged, they would do it. Just like there's men who have they have a club in LA that they like the heavier set women. Those little men, they love bigger women, right? Somebody like me would never have a chance, and I'm okay with that. But do I knock myself down because I don't fit the aesthetics of that? No, I just go where I belong in a lot of ways. And if it's something that I achieve to have, I'm going to have it. That's just all I was saying. So for you to try to depict me and say all these things, but you can't handle when you said you were doing X, Y, and Z, and I asked you to clarify what you're actually saying, and you felt attacked is crazy work to me.
No, but
Because
that's not
you
true.
okay,
You
whatever.
raised your voice
I didn't raise my
unnecessarily.
voice. I'm talking to you. Feels like speakerphone. I'm not raising my voice, and when I speak, you can ask anybody. I'm not yelling at you because you went under. I don't even yell. That's beneath me. When I talk about something that is real to me, my voice tone change. And ask anybody who's a Scorpio. You can't rock if you and we're not here of emotion because this is not a feelings conversation. These are facts. So if you can't
Also,
handle the
not star
fact of
sign
life, then you
conversation.
can't go nowhere in life. You've been dealing with men since you was 18. I don't even know how old you are. So you should understand and have some sturdiness to yourself to be able to listen. Not listen to respond, listen to understand. And the thing
You don't
is,
take other
some of
people's
your point, who was
opinions.
other people? I don't. Opinions don't pay my bills, sweetie. Only
Exactly.
facts does.
So
I
you
didn't give
can't
you an
expect me to
opinion.
listen to your
I didn't give
opinions
you an
either.
opinion of anything. I gave you a truth and a fact. See, my
But you
father taught
didn't.
me don't speak out of ignorance. See, I don't speak out of ignorance. I speak out of truth
Yeah,
and
people are saying it
experience.
sounds like you're shouting. It does.
I don't. I'm
No,
not though.
no.
If
I
I
don't
tell you I'm not yelling, but the
jumping
thing
in real
is,
quick, ladies. I don't feel
you
like she's speaking out of being angry. It's just she's speaking and expressing herself vehemently. That's all. She's got a lot of passion behind what she's saying. But I want to piggyback off something that Quincy said about how like men know what other men like. When you think you're going to these establishments and stuff like that, who do you think own these establishments that's setting these parameters in place? Men. This world is rooted in patriarchy that stems from white supremacy, and I won't go too into that, but we have to be real with ourselves here. Men know what men like, and at the end of the day, that's why they have the men standing at the doors to be able to size women up, to be able to say yes and no.
Right, right. Well, ladies, I want to say thank you to everyone joining the live tonight. I love that you all came up with different perspectives. You shared your stories. I really, really appreciate it. I actually love doing this. I want us to do it again. But before we end it, I want everyone to do like a closing thought, if you can, just about the Miami situation, about how women should show up in the world. And yes, give some closing thoughts to all the viewers watching. And please, let's not interrupt each other, please.
Fallon, you want to start?
I was thinking her should start.
Okay, her
No, I
start.
think I should go last because I feel like people just dig at me, so it's better I go last.
No, go first.
I'm gonna go last.
Okay.
Then, well, I just want to say, Ashley, thank you because I know this is a different style of live than what you usually do.
Yes.
So I thank you for this tonight and just allowing us to get up here and talk and just have this conversation. And yeah, I just want to say that. And ladies, put yourselves first.
Thank you, Coco. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go second. It's Tia. Ashley, I love your platform. I've been watching you for a minute. Love what you're doing. Regards to the Miami situation, you you're gonna be accepted in certain spaces and you're not. It's just the reality of life. If you want to get into certain spaces, you have to fit the aesthetic. If the aesthetic is losing weight, then you just have to lose the weight. So my perspective on the whole situation is you fit in where you fit in, and that's that. Thank you for having me, Ashley.
Thank you, Tia. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, I'll go. I just wanted to say thank you for having me. And
I know this conversation was about, weight. I just want to let the young lady up there and all the ladies know that I don't have any fat phobias. But if it's something that you genuinely don't like about yourself, then fix it because it'll always be a problem to you. So we are all beautiful in every shape and size. If it's something you don't like, fix it.
Thank you, Shan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll go. Again, thank you so much, Ashley, for having me up here. And thank you, ladies, for sharing your point to the Miami situation. It is unfortunate, and I feel sorry for what the girls have gone through. But again, when you are going into certain spaces, just doing a little bit of research, doing a little bit of study, if it's somewhere that you actually do want to experience for whatever the reason is, just know your why. And if you find that okay, if you still want to experience that space, you definitely can. But if it's somewhere where you feel like you have to go outside of yourself to experience it, then don't do it. Always do things that are more in alignment with you. When it comes to leveling up, like I mentioned earlier, please know your personal why as to why you want to level up. Other than that, ladies, thank you so much and have a good night.
Thank you, Fallon. Thank you.
I'll go next. So I appreciate you for hosting this live, and also too thank you for always just being who you are, Ashley. And on the Miami topic, I'll say this: be okay with not feeling your energy in every space, because every piece of the world does you do not have to be at every piece of the world. Also to know how you want to align yourself for the future, and remember that people love and embrace you the way how you love and embrace yourself. But I will even say this: for women who are going through either weight gain or weight loss, the best thing for you to do as a lady is just put your best foot forward, and also to own the season that you are in life, whether you be big or small. Make sure that it fits the life that you further want to obtain, and that the life that you are further obtaining.
Thank you, the
So yeah.
fabulous. Appreciate it.
Okay, I guess I'll go. In closing, my message always in the bottle is love yourself no matter what. And in loving yourself, that means choosing you and being trying to be the best version of yourself possible daily. Small wins are a win. A win is a win. And no matter how someone may perceive you as, it's all about how you feel about yourself. And we are all, every woman on this earth can find something that they're unhappy with within themselves, me included. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I was a little bit taller. I just tell the truth. I could have been cute 5'8", but God stopped me at 5'6". So there's always something that we want that we don't have. I want a $68 million house. Do I beat myself because I don't have the $68 million house? No, I just push towards to whatever I can obtain, and always push for that goal. And don't let no man tell you who you are, nothing like that. It's all about your self perception. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Quincy. Thank you so much for coming up
Oh
tonight.
yeah, love you, Ash.
Thank you, doll. And ladies, I didn't drop the last girl who finished her final thought. She dropped herself. I didn't take her down. Y'all going crazy in the comments. All right, who do we have up next? Nazira?
I'll go ahead and go. I want to say
Mhm.
thank you for having me. This is my first time being on your panel. Um, I would say to the Miami situation, I just feel as though if you want to be in certain spaces, in certain places, and you're shooting for a certain caliber, it's okay to be honest with yourself, to look at the 90% of those people and see what it is about them that you could change about yourself realistically to get where they are, or work towards whatever you need to work towards to get to there. It's perfectly fine to admit that something is wrong with you, or you don't fit within that aesthetic to get to that aesthetic. And I'm not talking about dark skinned women or complexion and things like that. I'm talking about little stuff like your weight, your hair, if you got acne, things like that. Those are all things that you could change and upgrade to get where you want to go.
Thank you, Nazira, and congratulations on your weight loss.
So much.
Congrats.
You actually inspired me to lose weight and start working on my appearance as well.
Congrats. All right, her.
Ashley, am I lost?
Yes, you're last.
Oh, I love you. You're so cute. Okay, Ashley, what I want to say is don't be, I'm saying hypothetically, so I'm not saying anyone. Don't be a mean girl and go out with all types of different girls. Don't pick girls based on aesthetic. You never know who can help you in life. So you should never look at someone and think, well, her aesthetic don't fit mine. Because maybe your aesthetic in your head, it might fit that room, but that room might actually not like your aesthetic and they might prefer your friend. So it's classy to be nice to everyone and not be mean. Mean girl energy is too old. We're too old. We're not in high school. We're not in, do you know what I mean? Let's be nice to everyone. Like, I don't understand. And I feel like it's better to be nice. It really is. And I'm someone who is slim. Like, I've got a slim body. And I don't like, I've had it from the other side where people have shamed me for my slimness. So I know how it feels. I don't want someone, if a friend of mine, she might not be my size. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to hang with her because she's not my size. No. She could open that door for me into that room. They might not like me. They might prefer her. So you never know who could be your angel, your helping friend. Don't look down on no one.
Absolutely. And her, may I ask you this? Let me ask you this. Do you think you were 100% nice this evening? The whole entire evening. Do you think you were
No, but
nice?
actually, if I'm attacked, I'm not scared to be a Rottweiler and fight back.
You're not a nice person.
Sorry?
So that means you're not a nice person. You're like, you want everyone to be nice, but under certain situations, you're not nice.
No, but if someone is rude to me, calling me, oh, do you sell yourself? You think I'm just going to stay calm?
You called her a 304.
That was after.
Confused. You literally.
Let's get on to what you said before too.
But hold on,
I know
why
we
is
about to
this
end the
gone to
line.
this point? I don't understand.
No. Let's not revisit this. Hey, let Ashley enjoy the rest of her
We're
evening,
ending the
please.
live, ladies. It's
Let's
cool.
end the
It's
live. You
cool.
said you wanted to go
Ashley,
last. You said your thing. Ashley asked a question. Oh la la. Let's
but what
let
I'm
her
It
go
saying is
was a
I'm
enjoy
good
not
the
the
talk.
rest
one
of
It was
her
a
that's
good
night.
come
talk.
here.
Let her
I'm
go
not the
enjoy
one
the
that's
rest of her
come here
night,
tonight.
please. I'm begging.
I'm not
Let
the one
Ashley
that's
go
come
and
here
enjoy
tonight
the
and
rest
said
of
I
her
don't
night.
hang around with people based on aesthetic. Some people have been more than comfortable to come here and say they don't hang around with people based on aesthetics.
No, I said
That's
I
not
don't bring
Her,
nice.
you still trying to make a point. It was supposed to be
I
your
said I
closing
don't bring
statement,
people
baby. You was just
certain
supposed to say a
places.
nice little
All right.
goodbye message to
Yes,
the
Well, you
live.
guys don't agree. That's fine.
I know you maybe I don't know what's going on, but I said I don't bring certain people certain places because if you love alcohol and you come somewhere with me and get sloppy drunk and embarrass me, you're done. That's simple. That's a cute example. But you heard what you heard, and I don't argue with people who don't know how to listen. And that's it. I hope you have an amazing weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Go
yes,
make your
Ashley.
money, do what you
Yes, it's
do. You
Kansas.
know what I
Thank
We
mean?
you.
Get
outside.
outside. Do what
Yes.
you do this summer.
And ladies, let me know what our next topic should be. Like definitely comment under like my last post or DM. Let me know what our next topic should be. We'll mix up the panel, but definitely if
Yeah.
you guys want to come back, you can, and we can do a different topic.
I'm not. Actually, can I
Maybe
say
the
one
next one
last
could be
quick thing,
about
please?
hair
I
hair.
find it really upsetting the girls that have been bigger themselves having so much self-hatred. It's so sad to hear. It really is. Saying
To
horrible things.
clarify, because I still am a bigger girl. I didn't have self hatred at all when I started losing weight. I actually love my body. It was the people around me that would say harsh things to me and the world around me that would treat me harshly. So to say that the bigger women hate themselves, I don't necessarily agree with that. But regardless of whether you love yourself or not, the world is going to treat you exactly how they want to treat you. And there's nothing that you can do about that. That's the reality. I feel like you yourself, you don't live, I don't know, maybe it's because you're skinny yourself, but you're not experiencing what other bigger people are experiencing, including me. So you can't tell me as a bigger person that what I'm experiencing is right. It's not right. No offense, but as a bigger woman,
Or is it real?
as harsh as it may sound, I don't want somebody to tell me to my face that all I'm good to be is to get money thrown my way and to be a cum rag.
As crazy as that may sound,
So
that
do
does
you
not
not
sound
speak
good
about
to me.
yourself more highly
No,
in
no,
your
no, no,
Say
no.
life? So
what?
why
It's
not?
understand.
Oh,
It's not what I think about myself. I think I'm absolutely beautiful. Look at my face. I'm gorgeous.
And you brought up me being
But
skinny.
how somebody else perceives me is not how I perceive myself. Understand that.
And Nye, I think
We
you
could
just made a
change
great
that.
point because I feel like that's where the conflict is coming in with her. And I promise I'm not going to drag this, but it's all about levels of perception. And at the end of the day, we all live and walk totally different lives. We might live in different sectors and areas of this world. So that's going to shape and form how we show up in this world.
absolutely. That is
All right,
100%
great. But I
correct.
think people should speak about themselves more highly instead of saying horrible stuffs when they've been through it. It's just don't make no sense to me. But anyways, that's cool.
Well,
Everyone each to their own, I suppose.
thank you, ladies. We'll have a different topic, okay? Maybe we'll go live again tomorrow. But yes, we'll come up with a different topic. If you guys have any ideas, please let me know, okay? That goes for everyone watching, even in the comments. Love you guys. Enjoy your
You,
weekend.
Ash.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Ashley.
y'all so
Thank you
much.
for
Thank
having
you.
me.